I swear I put it in my tabletop folder. It's not there.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Hunter the Reckoning, The Land Between, Episode 3. Let's do a little bit of a recap. 3 episodes in, we had a fair amount of investigation and fun stuff going on with our Hunter boys here. Basically, since our hunters arrived in Dover, Tennessee, south of the Land Between the Lakes National Park, they started finding some weird signs and things that were obviously supernatural in their bent. Specifically, last week, the four hunters had gone to Tharp Church, which is located in the Land Between the Lakes Park, and it had recently been burned down. Except it looked very strange because it seemed very professional and very controlled. Only the church burned down. Almost nothing around the church was burnt. So as the hunters investigated more around the area, some of them found some footprints that led into the woods. And the further that, in particular, Chad went and looked, he had found some scratch marks crawling up a tree, and in another direction found the branches of 3 large trees tied together, following some larger footprints, almost a little larger than a man's, average man's anyway. And then from there, Albert, brother, and all of our pictures are wrong. This is okay. So I really like Zoom, but that's the one thing that's different than Skype. Let's see if I can fix those real quick. I'll continue the recap, but let's do our usual roundabout. So the only person who's in the right spot right now is Chard as Chad. So tell us a little bit about your character, a little bit what he looks like, his personality, and maybe like some of what he's thinking about this investigation.
Man, we're doing like full on intros into this then, aren't we?
I need a second.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'll stall it. So yeah, Chad Water Lily, he's a very antisocial, kind of angry at the world, younger, kind of fit African American fellow who is feeling a little bit over his head right now. You know, he was used to kind of vampires and kind of slightly creepy things. He's not he had no idea about like a mayor's daughter being touched by a demon and giant birds that are catching churches on fire. So he's feeling like this is becoming a little bit more weirder than he was expecting. And yeah, he's but silver lining, he is very happy that he has like a group of people, like friends, that that actually find him useful in some ways. Not used to having friends of this sort.
All right, perfect. Let's follow up with Kozanark as Father Lily.
Shit, who am I playing? Hi, I'm Father Peter Lilly. I have been with these guys for 2 days now, and we've discovered a few really upsetting things. I'm kind of torn. I sort of agree with Albert, her brother. I do want to get more information out of the mayor, and his opinion was to get her off her turf, maybe. Since how hesitant she was to speak with me with her daughter around, maybe it'd be best to find her somewhere else and talk to her. But I'm also inclined to agree with Sean as well, that maybe we should lay low and stay away from authorities, because we have been a little quote-unquote loud. But I definitely vindicated in feeling that we have to be here after seeing the mayor's daughter, who had clearly demon horns, in some vestige of them, either possessed by a demon, touched by a demon, made a deal with a demon. But we have to be here, and we have to get to the bottom of this before there's more souls lost to the corruption that can be found here.
Next, we'll have Modi Anstis as Sean Malcolm.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've ever since leaving my city, I've been wandering the woods for a while and noticing a larger and larger occurrence of various supernatural activity going on around this the land between. That's why I've reached out to these other hunters to bring them in order to take a look at it. We're starting to. It's obvious that we've found something going on, and it's still a mystery of what exactly. I feel we've started showing our hand a little too strong, and the thing it's surely starting to get suspicious of what's going on. It's obvious that it has hands with the mayor. The mayor's daughter is completely not right. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully we can pull back the investigation and be a little bit less blatant and bring this thing to justice.
And last but not least, we have Revolver C as Albert Brother Reese.
Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Revolver. I'm playing as Albert Reese, also known as Brother. I'm in Tennessee, Dover, because my daughter is staying with her in-laws, and I want to make sure that everything is okay and that she's safe. I've heard reports of supernatural things going on with the animals, so I decided to check that out. As far as what's going on, I do believe that the mayor has a bigger role in this, that whether or not she is playing ignorant to her daughter's personality change, or she's just choosing to simply ignore it. So I do want to get more information out of her. I'm definitely not the kind of guy that pulls back when he knows something is, obviously wrong, because he wants to make sure that his daughter is safe and sound. The other thing was something else I can't remember. Oh yeah, the ranger station. I'll be going to the ranger station, seeing the cameras. We're going to be putting up cameras in the woods as well to try to catch whatever is terrorizing the animals, so to say, and humans.
Perfect. Yeah, so that actually covered most of the rest I was going to say, but as a short wrap-up, Brother and Father Lily had both sensed that the sheriff was somehow touched by the supernatural. Something had bothered his soul, possibly caused a bit of a rift in it. Father Lily also, when he looked at the animal flesh that Brother had taken from the ranger station and looked at the burn mark, saw that it was glowing when he used his discern ability to further see into the supernatural, so that definitely clarified it was not a natural burn. The death reports that Father Lily got from the sheriff were very concerning because there were not a lot of details, and the photos made them all uncomfortable when the hunters looked at them. They seemed unnatural. Something had happened to the bodies, or they were fake bodies, or something along those lines. Very just upsetting. Chad and Brother, as they went to further research and investigate around the area of the trees with the tied branches, had something affect them. They're unsure what just yet, but it did feel like something supernatural touched them slightly. They don't know exactly what it is or what the effect is yet, but we'll see that later. I think last but not least is, yes, Chad and Brother are also going to be following up on getting some cameras set up in the woods near those trees where they had followed the footprints to see if they can catch anything. And Father Lily and Sean are going to do a bit more internet-based investigation, try and look up what they can about Suzanne. Father Lily had tried to reach through Facebook to see if he can find out any more details about the young lady. Sean is trying to get some malware on her computer to check her files, and so on and so such. So it was late in the day at the end of the last game when you had all finally made your decisions on your next moves. So you all would have gone back to your respective places. I think someone bunked with somebody, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember anything about that.
Okay,
All places.
We were gonna meet at Chad's
That's what it was.
hotel to convey information and whatnot. I think that's where we left off, right?
Yes.
I think
we're in Chad's hotel.
Yeah, we're in my hotel talking right now. We haven't left it.
Yeah, so I believe that was morning the next day, though, right?
No, that was
I
after
think that
the
was
woods.
yeah. It was after us getting cursed, and
Okay.
we went straight back.
So you guys arrive probably closer to evening. You guys had been out for most of the afternoon, actually investigating the church, and then convening for lunch to talk about this some more, going your own ways. That was when Father Lily went to the mayor's office and saw Suzanne, her daughter, and noticed that something was wrong with her. So you had all agreed to convene at Chad's hotel room to discuss your next steps.
I think we had discussed most
Yeah, we
of that
discussed.
stuff.
Yep, we fucking what's his name? I'm me and Albert are gonna go get trail cams.
Yep.
Father and Sean are gonna do their shit with like the mayor and whatnot. And I think Albert also wants to try and talk to the mayor, but might not.
Yeah. Well, my timeline would be receive a call from the head ranger, to check out the videos, and then possibly borrow some surveillance equipment to put on the places where we saw the tracks. And then after that, see if I can go find the mayor somewhere.
I think the plan for Sean and I was that we did get access to look at those bodies of the kids, if they still exist or whatever happened to them. But we did get that access, so we're going to see if that's still happening, try to visit them, and then Sean had the idea to talk to the parents of these missing kids and the murdered kids, see if we can find a link or see what's up there.
I thought you were still waiting on the sheriff to get you the access. He said he was going to look into it, but didn't get back to you.
I thought the mayor fixed that. Either way, whatever. Kids, talk to the parents' kids then.
Yeah.
Or kids' parents.
I did clarify that it was the diocese who reached out through the mayor to get the sheriff to give you those files. I don't think you were given permission to see the bodies yet. I'm hoping I'm not wrong, but that's...
No, that's fine. That works. I believe you.
Alright, so Brother and Chad, it is late evening, but the ranger does eventually call Brother a few hours after the convening at the burned church in the woods. And Brother, you can answer your phone?
Yeah, I'll answer my phone. And yes, this is Albert.
Hello, this is
Malcolm and Sin.
I wanted to say Finnegan, but I was like, no, that's a sheriff. I don't know why I blanked on his name for a second. This is Ranger Malkinson. You wanted to come back down to the office for some surveillance information?
Yes, Malkinson, that'd be great. You mind if I bring along a friend?
I assume this would be one of the ones that came along with you earlier?
That it would be.
That's fine. I'll be here for another couple hours. Do you think you could make it in that time?
Can I make it in that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just meant if you're not busy.
Yes, I think I can, Ranger.
Alright, well, I'll be here.
Alright, see you then. And then I'll hang up. Am I still at Chad's place?
I think you all are, yeah. Unless you had left within another 30 minutes.
Nah, I'd be like smoking. But yeah, I'll just relay the information. Well, that was the ranger on the phone. He's ready for me to see that surveillance in the woods, see what we can spot up.
Before we leave Chad's place, he did say there was like it was full of crap that his hunter mentor.
Yep. Not even. Yeah. Yes.
Whatever the guy was, but the other hunter had left laying around this place. And we've been here for a while. Can I do like a couple perception awareness rolls and see if anything looks important, supernatural, useful, hunter-wise? Or might tell why he's a hunter in the middle of this town?
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide between awareness or discern.
I'm fine either way.
Oh wait, I did discern earlier and I didn't find anything. So
Yeah, that's correct. So
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be supernatural, but a tool that I know that maybe a hunter uses against a certain type of thing. Anything useful in the room.
you wouldn't pick up on that with either of those abilities.
With perception awareness? Or alertness?
Unless the item itself was supernatural.
No, just a regular perception check to see if I notice something in the room, like, I don't know, any hints about what he was doing here.
But you're blind.
You're blind. If it isn't supernatural, you don't have a way to sense anything.
Oh, I can just roll discern to get 10 minutes of vision.
Okay. But it's still only going to sense supernatural things.
But no, discern gives you clear vision.
I wanted to recheck that because I wasn't sure about that.
The book literally says even if your eyes are gouged out, you can see perfectly fine.
Okay.
You can read it, but I guess we'll move on.
No,
It's
we've
fine.
been running that way. It's fine. I know you took it for a specific reason.
But the book does literally say the hunter can see perfectly fine even if their eyes are gouged out. So, like, even if a wolf takes your eyeballs out, you can still see.
Okay. Use discern then. What are you looking for?
Yeah, never mind, it's fine.
I just needed to know what you were looking for before I give you, like, your difficulty.
So before we came here, I just was like, hey, this guy was a hoarder and there's a ton of shit in here. And I have no idea if any of it's like special hunter things or if it's just random crap. Like, you guys are hunters. Maybe you can like help me out. So I think he's just trying to look around the room to see if there's anything huntery.
Useful huntery to do with hunters, tools of the trade, tools of another trade that I might notice. I know he did show all the guns and stuff under the mattress, but I meant more like, supernatural. Not that the object itself is supernatural, but things used in supernatural things, like holy water, I guess, isn't actually supernatural, but it's used against, garlic, steel, silver swords.
Also, thank you, Revolver. Yeah, I was trying to reread that earlier because I wasn't 100% sure, but yeah, that covers it then. Yeah, so go ahead and do your roll for discern.
Five successes.
Okay. So you were just looking for anything that's like good hunter material?
Like I said, anything that I know would be used in the trade, for the trade, or about the trade. Like, oh, this looks like he was researching goblins, or,
If you go hunting through the boxes and the crates and everything that's in the room, you'll come across some pretty standard stuff. There's definitely some sharpened wooden spikes and some sort of like holy relics, things like that. Some occult pendants. Maybe you don't know exactly what they're for or what they represent, but you definitely recognize them as something that would be potentially used against the supernatural. And then probably a good stack of books, some of which would probably be topics you're not very familiar with. Your past, as far as I understand it, has definitely been a little more towards understanding vampires and anything you would know that the church believes in.
Demons and vampires, yeah.
Yeah.
No, alright. I just wanted to check and I guess see what was in the room.
Give me an additional... Give me an intelligence and a cult roll.
Only one success.
You do recognize a couple other things. There's some holly, some iron, and some silver. So that would clue you into a concern about potentially werewolves as far as the traditional cult goes with the silver. And then iron and holly are more for potentially fey trickstery things.
Cool. I'll probably just keep that stuff to myself. It doesn't seem too important right now, so.
Okay. So Brother and Chad, you're going to be heading towards the ranger's office?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yep. I'll finish my cigarette and kind of stand up, say, let's go.
Alright, you guys are heading that way. Father, Lily, and Sean, you had some internet business you wanted to do. Are you going to get up to that or something else?
The internet, I'm kind of waiting for time. What time of day is it? Is it like 6, 7?
Between 6 and 7, yeah.
So I'm just going to turn to the father. So one of the things that I've been thinking about doing, I can go alone, or we can always use the cover of the church. Is was going to go, I guess, as a reporter or something, and talk to the parents of the missing children, see if we can piece together anything that coincides between all their cases, whether they were hanging out in the same crowd, knew each other. I mean, it's not like this. I suppose that they all wouldn't know each other, but something like that. Just see if there's something we've missed.
Out of character to Spira, I'm totally down to do that, but I don't want to hit that brick wall of like, why are you coming to me at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night asking about my missing or dead children?
Mm-hmm.
So,
which the reporter is a relatively easy. Sorry, I was waiting for you to get home from work. This is important for an article, but
I guess. All right, if you want to roll for the reporter, that's fine. Sorry, back in character. I guess so, Sean. If you'd like to pose as that, obviously the Vatican doesn't employ reporters in full robes, so I can be their support, I suppose.
Yeah, I can take the lead if you would like to come.
Yeah, it'd be wonderful. I'd love to talk to the parents of these children. Besides, me and the sheriff had talked about that maybe if they gave me permission to see their children's bodies, that we could get in. So that would also serve a purpose.
Perfect.
Alright, and Sean, you have high enough computers. I'm not even gonna make you roll. You'll be able to easily locate the family, like yellow page style of find out where they live. It's not gonna. I wouldn't make you roll for that. The bot should be the craziest thing. My computer broke.
So this town is big enough to have multiple yellow pages?
No.
It's a bad joke.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so, you guys are able to locate the location of, both of the families, of the missing children. The one is a young boy named, damn it, I had them written down earlier. Timothy Evans. And the other one is another young boy named, Ian Jackson.
Is his brother Bo Jackson?
Yes.
And I forgot Timothy Evans, sorry.
Yeah, I had names written down, but I didn't have them in the right file. But two different families, so. And remember, the children who were found dead, the bodies that are in the reports, was about 3 months ago. the two missing children. One was 2 months ago. That would be Timothy. And the one was just a month ago. That would be Ian.
Probably just start with Timothy then.
Alright, so you're gonna head right to their house?
I mean, I'm gonna stop, and if I don't have like a pad of paper and stuff with me, shoot. I'm gonna stop by the local library quickly and quickly print out a really quick, loose reporter badge. Find one online real quick, print it out, and quickly just laminate it to make a quick little card to be like, "Hey, I'm a reporter."
Got your pocket laminator?
At the library, I figured.
I was just teasing.
Shh, don't let everyone know about it.
Alright, so you get all of that put together and you head to the house of Henry and Isabel Evans. It is a really small but very quaint kind of rancher house, just the one level. Looks like, probably has like 2 to 3 bedrooms, like a little basic place. Out front has like a nice little garden and a little pathway, though it does look like it's probably been neglected for a little while. It's a little bit overgrown, some weeds coming in, whereas it otherwise, like the stonework and some metal statues look like they had been well kept. So it gives you a sense that this has been just only recently neglected. It's not the state that it tends to be in normally.
All right. If there's a are there lights on? Does it actually look like anyone's home?
Yeah, no, it does look like there's a light kind of in maybe a living room area. Definitely like a window off to the side has some light coming out of it with the shades drawn.
All right. I'll walk up to the front door and ring the doorbell or knock, whatever is there.
And Father Lee, you're along with him?
Yep, quiet by his side.
Alright, and, okay, so after you knock, after a little while, a tall man with a very short cropped hair, like lines down his face, a little bit of scruff, otherwise just wearing like a very like plain kind of worker's t-shirt and jeans, opens the door, but opens the main door with a screen door in front of it and speaks to you through that. Can I help you?
Good evening, sir. Are you, Mr. Evans?
I am, and who are you?
My name is, I'll hold out my hand. I'm Sean Malcolm. I'm a reporter with the Nashville Tribune, and I know that this is probably a little bit late. I was just hoping to catch you while you're at home. I'm not interrupting dinner or anything. What I'm trying to say is you have a few minutes to talk, and I apologize about any inconvenience this is.
And he looks a little confused. No, the, Mrs. and I eat pretty early. What is this regarding?
I'm sorry, but this is, in reports to your missing son. There's been I'm just covering a piece about a bunch of the local, missing peoples in the area, and you are just next on my list. Timothy?
You see his hand move slightly as if he's about to close the door, but he pauses. Yes, I'm sorry. Who are you with?
Sean Malcolm with the Nashville Tribune. And again, we're just trying to do a piece on some of the missing peoples in the area and trying to gain a little bit of awareness. The state of Tennessee overall has had a 22% increase over the past 5 years in missing peoples, and this is something that we just feel is incredibly alarming, and we would love to help bring a bit more light to it and help, bring justice to everyone who's gone, especially children.
Again, you see, like, his hand kind of waver on the door frame, like, kind of almost starting to close it more, but as you start to explain that you're doing this as a piece to bring more awareness and that it, has reached out to more people than just local news, he wavers for a second. And he looks behind himself. You can see him kind of look towards what looks like a kitchen behind him. And he opens the screen door, stepping out, and closes it behind him to speak with you. Listen, I might, and he looks Father Lily up and down a little bit. A little more confused. And you are?
Did you come in plainclothes or in your church garb?
Father Lily does not wear plain clothes. He's a man of the faith. No, yeah, I'm in my church garb as usual.
Okay.
With my bandana across my eyes, so...
I'm verifying before I can...
Yeah. Well, that way I'm blind then, so people can clearly tell. Either I'm blind or I've taken, like, a vow of no seeing.
This is Father Lilly. He's a member of the representative of the church, the Catholic Church, and he's here just, of course, any sort of humanitarian or missing peoples is something that they're obviously a matter very close to them as well. And
I'll kind of like cut you off and like put my hand on your shoulder and step forward. And I'll hold out my hand. I'm Father Lilly. Nice to meet you.
Henry Evans reached out his hand and shakes yours.
I'm here, Henry, because not to be offensive or assume anything, but often in times like these, it is very difficult to find anybody to talk to about losses and especially difficulties with children. And the church is aware that, unfortunately, counseling and psychiatry in smaller rural communities can be difficult to find. So we offer our services, even if you're not Catholic. We are trained in how to handle these things. As you might know, confession is a part of our religion. So we're trained to deal with heavy issues and help counsel people through their troubles. So I'm here as support if you, your wife, or any other children may need it, just to talk or for advice. It doesn't have to be religious if you're not.
I appreciate that, Father Lily. He looks around a little dismayed, but nods. Of course, and looking to Sean, he says, I'd be happy to speak with you. I'm afraid the missus probably wouldn't be in the right sort for this. Just give me a moment. Let me tell her I'm gonna step outside for a little bit, and just so she knows where I am. And he'll quietly open both doors, but close them behind him, and head inside the house for a few minutes.
Do we hear him lock the door?
No, you just hear him like close it, so it actually like clicks.
Just wait patiently, pull out his pad and start scribbling just basic notes down. I mean, he is actually taking notes, so.
All right, and Brother and Chad, you're heading over to the ranger station.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yep.
All right. Now you've both been this way. So you pull up into the parking lot and you see that lights are on. There's, other cars in the parking lot. You can see maybe like two people outside on a smoke break.
Do I recognize them?
No, they just look like the same sort of young people that probably either volunteer or make a few extra bucks working at the sheriff's station here and there, or ranger station.
Okay, I'll walk past them without saying anything.
They both definitely notice you with your huge size, but in a more polite way, try to not stare.
Yeah, just keep walking.
I'll follow him pretty closely.
Alright, once you're inside the building, you see that the Ranger Malkinson is at a nearby desk, just taking down some notes. You do see John, though, the ranger you'd spoke to earlier, who found you, or had realized later on that you had taken a piece of the one elk. He looks a little frantic and kind of scurries over to Ranger Malkinson and taps him on the shoulder, whispering something in his ear.
Oh, this is make pleasantries. I'll walk up to the front of the desk and be like, Ranger Malkinson, good to see you again.
John scurries off again, and Malkinson kind of gives you a wry half smile. Good to see you, brother. My friend here says you took some evidence earlier.
Yeah, it was for the lab. Needed to see what was going on with that burn mark there. Saw some inconsistencies with the flesh.
Well, I would appreciate in the future that you address me with such things, and I would also appreciate to get to the sample back if you have it.
Of course, yeah, I asked your ranger there, and he said I could take whatever I want, so...
Malkinson kind of looks over his shoulder, half interested, and shakes his head. I'm a little more interested in this help you think you might be able to afford us, looking into some security cameras, setting things up in the woods. It's a good idea, especially if you think you found some trail that you think the arsons or whoever was responsible might be coming from.
Yes, absolutely, and I brought my student with me. This is Chad.
Hi.
Ranger Malkinson's gonna reach out his hand and shake Chad's if he offers.
Yeah, he'll shake it. Not
Nice
a
to meet
firm
you.
handshake. It's very dainty.
His is a little more gruff and like that big like kind of, through his arm. You feel it shake yours. Good to meet you, son. You know what? Give me a second. I'll get the equipment and I'll head out with you. I can help you, show you how to set it up if you haven't done it before or you haven't used our equipment.
Oh, I've used trail cams before. Don't worry about that. I think I know my way around it.
Yeah, we're just curious to see the surveillance footage. Maybe your camera's got something.
Yes, ours are a little closer to the roads and some of the other tourist destinations. The church wasn't a big concern. It was just a old relic from the past. Yeah, come along with me and he'll show you into a back room.
Yeah, I'll follow.
So there you see like a few monitors, nothing high tech, like mostly like putty, big square kind of monitors, but they're hooked up to a couple different servers and desktops and all that. There's even slots for the file, USBs and different types of drives. It looks like a range from old to new technology, but he starts tapping on a keyboard and clicking around, and he eventually, on one of the larger monitors, gets pulled up a sheet, kind of Excel of, different timestamps, and starts clicking on the links that are related to it, and pulls up a couple videos. Before he starts playing them, though, he explains to all of you. So yeah, we didn't see anything especially out of the ordinary. We didn't see any people. But if you can see here, and it clicks on one, it's a date within the last week, probably about 6-7 days ago. The video starts playing, and over a camera that looks like it is viewing part of a camp area, like some tables and a bit of parking area where people can actually park before they actually go out into the woods for camping with their actual tents and all that. There is an elk that you see sort of stumbling nearby that has similar kind of claw marks in it that you saw in the carcass earlier, and eventually sort of like gives up from its front legs and finally falls to the ground.
Okay. As I'm kind of looking at that video, I say, well, Malkinson, there is something here. Maybe I can find it, because as they say, God sees the devil in us all. And I'll activate discern.
Okay. When you were, like, if you ask him to click back another, like, 30 seconds to watch the elk walk by again, you'll definitely see a, bright glowing, kind of line along those marks.
The claw marks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And as it's replaying, Malkinson's gonna say, I don't know, how much you know about the park here, but, the elk and the bison range isn't even that close to this park, and it's not normal for them to actually even get out of the range. They're content. We've got rangers that, you know, drive by all the time. We have minor areas of electrified fences just to make sure that they don't go running out on the road. It's especially strange to see one this close to a human encampment around here.
Well, if it is a hunter, as we suspect it is, I guess that elk there would just run away, no matter the direction.
It's a good point. You think it's some kind of sick asshole with some kind of weird tool?
I'm not sure quite yet, Ranger, but this much is certain is not a predator. It's not eating the corpses, and the body parts were still intact of the elk that I and my student examined. And judging from the rest of the carcasses that you do have in your possession, I would assume that all their body parts are remaining intact.
Yes, no, that, any nods, like, pretty heavily. Yes, that is the strangest part. If it were a predator, you would think they would at least, minimum, take a couple bites out. It looks like they've just been attacked and left.
So, I suspect that someone or something is trying to scare off everyone from entering the woods.
That's, it's an interesting concept. Yeah, that makes some sense. It doesn't make any sense for why a hunter would leave behind the body, even if they were only attacking it for sport. And it doesn't make any sense why a predator would leave behind unless it was, I don't know, some kind of an advanced rabies, just making the animals go wild.
I do. Yeah, I have to agree with you. And can I look at Ranger Malkinson? Just make sure he's not all glowy, supernatural.
Yeah, everything about Malkinson looks fine. He looks clean of any interference.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll keep talking to him. About that surveillance equipment, Ranger.
Mhm.
Mind if my student and I take a walkie-talkie and so his cameras and we can set them up?
Yeah, of course. And he'll lead you to another nearby room. It looks a little messy with the equipment inside. Looks like, you know, they use the stuff but don't always necessarily put it back right where it should be. But he goes digging through, pulls out a couple different crates, and finally finds a small box that has a couple walkie-talkies in it with some batteries as well. And then goes and digs a bit longer and then finds you a set of trail cameras.
How many do we get?
There's a 5 inside the set he has.
Dope.
Does he have like a backpack to where we can put those in? Like a...
Yeah,
Are
if
we
you ask
carrying
him,
them all?
he'll go digging a bit more, and he'll find like a good sack, like duffel bag for you to put all of it in.
Yeah, I'll hand one of the cameras to Chad and say, "You think you can work this thing?"
I'll roll it back and forth in my hand. I'm assuming I know how to use this, right, Spira? I'm assuming it's not some like super fancy, only the rangers, but it's like a basic trail cam.
Yeah, you're good. You have both your survival and your computer, so I'd say you'd be able to handle these.
Yeah, they're trail cams, man. They all work the same. I know how to use it.
No, they're pretty
Oh,
basic.
I'll kind of
Yeah.
nod and I'll say, "Well, Ranger Malkinson, I appreciate the help."
Of course, and he'll put his hand out to shake yours.
I'll give a firm grip.
It was good to meet you. I'm glad you both came by. It's been a strange season around here, and definitely I can get these hooked up right to the system here if you'd like.
That'd be mighty fine. Thank you, Sheriff. Or Ranger.
Yeah, all right. And I'll take down the numbers that the cams like correspond to, and like you'll see him just typing away, basically leaving you guys to leave.
Before, like, as we're like making our way towards the exit, I'll kind of stop in my tracks and turn around and be like, one more thing, Ranger. How long you been in this town for?
Pretty much born and raised, just a little outside of Dover. I moved here for the job.
Right. Well, the mayor, what was her name again?
Liza Fitzberg?
Yeah, Miss Fitzberg. She, frequent any bars around here after she's done at the office?
I know Liza likes a drink or two, but usually at her home.
I understand. Well, if she were to go out, where would she go?
And he thinks about it. There's a restaurant or two I know she likes, but she's been mighty quiet lately.
I understand that. Thank you, Ranger.
Absolutely. He'll real quick, hold his hand up for you, and he'll write down a couple of the places. And then, like, her address as well. I'm assuming you want to, like, maybe talk to her about some of these, instances in the woods and all. I wouldn't necessarily go visit her directly at her house, at least not outside morning time. Sometimes she'll take, visitors there, but, otherwise, definitely give her a shot at maybe these restaurants. I think around Fridays, sometimes she'll go there, but I haven't seen her around those parts in a while.
What day is it, out of curiosity?
I believe you guys are actually on a Saturday, so it's a little far away
Okay.
from what he mentioned, but again, he gave you the addresses.
Okay, yeah. And I'll take the pad of paper, or the piece of paper he gave me and put it in a pocket. This is starting heading out.
Alright.
When we get in the car, I'd like to have a conversation, a small one with Albert.
Yeah. You got something on your mind?
Did you tell him to link the trail cams back to the computer here?
Well, we don't necessarily have the equipment to do it ourselves, do we?
Yeah, it's a basic computer, man. Like, if anything weird...
1 second.
Okay.
Okay, I was trying to fix it. People were saying I was a little quiet. I wanted to make sure I could fix it. I don't know if it did much or not.
No problem.
It was just Graham. Like, who cares?
No, but I'm even looking at the levels, and like I'm mostly hitting you guys sometimes, but not always. Anyway, it should be okay.
That was a joke, Graham. Do you need me to repeat the last part or no?
Yeah, just I heard like the tail end of it before I went to fix it.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. All it takes is a basic computer. Like, if I don't know, like, we have demons that we're hunting. We have bird talon fire starters. If he gets wind of it before we do it, I don't know. You're the hunter. It could be, nothing. But what if something really fucking crazy pops up on this camera and he sees it before we do?
Well, we do have someone in our party that is tech savvy. I'm sure you could rewire that video.
I just thought I'd bring it up now instead of in front of them. I just wanted to let you know.
It's good intuition.
All right, let's go.
Yep. And we'll drive to the closest to the trails.
Sorry, I thought Kozark was looking at my screen while I was typing notes for me. It's like, no screen watching.
Screen peeking, we're back in middle school!
Anyways, I'll drive over to the closest of the trail. We're at Forks.
Yep. Alright, and real quick, we'll go back to Father Lily and Sean. You had been waiting patiently outside for a little while as Henry Evans was inside speaking with his wife. After about 5 minutes or so, he'll come back outside.
Sorry, did we hear any, like, is the wife raising her voice? Does she sound, like, sad, angry?
From outside the door, you don't hear anything much, just a little bit of quiet speaking.
So they're hushed, clearly.
Like people speaking inside a house with a decent heavy door.
Okay.
Alright, so after about 5 minutes or so, Henry Evans walks back outside and closes the door behind him. He nods his head over to the left and says, I have a little, bit of a garden back here. We can go and speak quietly over there. Isabel's gonna stay inside.
Not to intervene on your business at all, sir. And I hope you don't take this as offense, but does she need anyone to talk to? Is she okay?
No, she's all right. She's just isn't really in the mood to speak about this, and he'll just start walking around the side of his house towards his backyard. And you see, similar to the front, it does look like it's otherwise, pretty well kept. There's a bit of a garden. There's like a couple swings and some seating. So he walks over to where there's 2 small benches, and he sits down on one.
Can I roll to see if he was lying when he said that?
Yeah. That'll be perception and empathy. Yeah.
Five successes.
Alright, you get from him that, no, he was being perfectly truthful. He really said, it just sounded like, he wanted to keep his wife away from having to talk about this too much.
But he was being honest that she doesn't want to talk, not he doesn't want her talking.
Yeah, no, it sounded like he was being honest, that's why he wanted to go speak with her quietly, privately first, before bringing her outside, and yeah.
Totes respect. I'm down with that.
Alright, so he sits down on a bench across from the two of you, and you see he just kind of stretches and flexes his shoulders a little bit. Looks like he's not entirely ready or comfortable to talk about this, but knows it needs to get done.
So I'll start with just the basics to make sure that I have it correct. Your son, Timothy Evans, he's, just so I have an accurate description, he's blah, 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 go through just the basic physical, making sure that I have it correct. He attended so-and-so school and just his age and everything to make sure that I have the details correct.
For your reference, he you pulled up some more information about him when you were looking up the location for the missing children's families. You found a picture of him. He looks very much like a younger version of his dad. He's kind of tall, a little lanky. He's very short, kind of blonde hair, while his father's going gray. But otherwise, kind of dusty brown, blonde hair. Bright eyes. You saw that there was some information about him. He's in 9th grade, but already, working on moving up in the school's sports teams. He's on track, and otherwise seemed like a well-to-do high school kid.
Okay. So I guess if we want to start with just, sorry, not start. So next, what can you tell me? Anything about you recall about the night that your son went missing? Is there anything odd that you noticed in his behavior, anyone new he was talking to, or any warning signs that, maybe you didn't notice at the time, but in hindsight, details that stick out to you about the whole experience?
Henry hangs his head a little bit, starts shaking it, and just sighs. I wish he'd been with someone that night. At least there might have been a witness, might have had some trail exactly for where he last was. But no, he'd gone out biking just around town. He does it pretty often. Just get a little exercise late at night. It's a late summer here. It's getting a little cooler. It's what he likes to do, and he Henry just starts like kind of scratching his beard, looks a little more upset as he continues speaking. He just never came home. Couldn't find anyone who'd seen him specifically. A couple people saw him ride by the town, the houses and shops that are nearby, but no one saw him go anywhere special. And it just like smoke, just gone.
Is he a good kid?
Great kid. He does well in school. Always helps his mom around the house. He was doing well in track, moving into high school.
Sounds like you trusted him to let him ride out by himself and, come back on time. Sounds like you really trusted him.
Absolutely. The kid Tim wouldn't have gone out with any weird folks. Wouldn't have trusted anyone, that he didn't know. Wouldn't have gone off any place he hadn't gone before, or at least not without telling us. That's the strangest part about it all.
Anyone
Do you know?
Oh, sorry, Sean. Anyone new in town? I get that he wouldn't normally associate, but sometimes new kids in smaller towns get a little more fanfare than maybe they deserve.
He tries to think back. I think there's one or new kids to the school, but he's in 9th grade. That happens. Sometimes they move counties before starting high school or next grades.
I was just curious.
But I ain't never seen him hang out with them. I only knew about it and people were mentioning, a couple new kids to school. That's all.
Just out of curiosity, do you happen to have the big kid's name? If it happens to come up again, I just want to make sure I'm talking about the same person.
I don't remember him off the top of my head, but I could probably look it up and get it to you, or you could just maybe check with someone at the school if you are a reporter.
Absolutely. So another thing I wanted to follow up on, you said that your son was out biking. How late at night is this? Shortly after dinner, 7 a.m., or was it later, 9, 10?
Yeah, no. Like after dinner, maybe 7, 8 at the latest. That's about when he normally would go out. Little before sunset, especially in the summer. Maybe a little earlier in winter, but this time somewhere between there.
And how long would he stay out biking?
Maybe an hour. That's why about 9 o'clock we started to get a little curious, maybe where it was. It's getting older. We thought maybe, he was just pushing that curfew kind of thing. Just wanted to bike a little farther. It's alright. But when it hit 10, 11, sun's fully down, didn't see him, didn't hear from him. Started calling around his friends, maybe stopped there and lost track of time, but none of them had seen him. Called around, called the neighbors, still nothing. So when we finally called the sheriff, that's when the search started, but they never found nothing.
They didn't even find his bike potentially anywhere, or anything that he was wearing? Absolutely no.
No signs yet. They've still been looking, but it's been a couple months already. That's about the threshold they'll put into it. I mean, nobody's giving me and my wife some hope, but we're not sure what to think at this point.
And did he have a set route that he would typically stick to, or was it free form? And how far would he go? Like towards any parks or anything noteworthy?
I don't know if he had a real set course he took all the time, but he'd stay in Dover. He'd never go outside the town. Maybe up toward the park. There's good trails up there. Might have rode around for a bit and come back into town, but yeah, nothing crazy.
I don't mean to conflate these two, and I don't mean anything by it, but and I know they're pretty separated, but anything to do with the other missing kid, or God forbid, the 2 kids who were found dead a while back?
I know what you're thinking, yeah. Certainly crossed my mind as well, but I mean, first of all, those two kids were a year behind him in school. He didn't know them, at least as far as I could connect it that way. But, no, I couldn't find anything to connect it other than them being kids, them being missing. We know
You and
we
their
don't-
families didn't talk or
No,
go to the same church, anything, even as small, same, same church, same convenience store you went to every day, anything.
no, and he keeps shaking his head. I really hope there's no connection there.
And just, I mean this respectfully for the story. Again, if there's anything you feel immediate that you would like to keep off the record, feel free to say so. But I'm assuming that you searched his belongings or anything, trying to find evidence. Did he have a journal? Did you find any drugs, a little bit of weed or something in his room? Anything that could be a potential insight here?
He keeps just shaking his head. I really wish there was more I could give you. We got so little ourselves. I'm not holding anything back. If this story can do anything to find out what happened to my boy, I'd be mighty appreciative. But no, of course we search his belongings. We find no weird diaries of where he wanted to go or any sign of new friends, nothing like that. We're hoping this is just some kind of, I don't know, the best I can think of is a strange kidnapping and he'll find his way home.
And have you been feeling odd yourself leading up to the event? Feeling like you're being watched or feeling awkward, just that tingling on the back of your neck when something stands out to you? Has that come up at all before or shortly after? Did Timothy report this either? Just anything that just maybe your gut instinct is telling either of you that something's not right.
No sir, not sure what you're talking about, but no, that's not no, like you always expect your parental instincts will kick in and tell you something's gonna happen, and it does. And can't think of how or why, but no, I can't say anything like that. And I'll actually give the priest a bit of a strange look after that question. Not a strange look, but a look of like, is that question related to you?
Obviously I don't see it. I'm gonna sort of like sigh heavy and pull out from my robes like a card that just has my name and my cell phone number on it, and just that I'm actually associated with the archdiocese, not just like the local church, but it'll have my personal number. I'm gonna like hold it out to him. I know how hard this is, and like I said, if your wife just needs anyone to talk to, I understand not wanting to talk, but if she does, I'm not a reporter. I have nothing to do with the story. Anything you say to me is confidential. It's between me, you, and God, or just me and you, if that's what you believe, or your wife. So if there's anything that needs to be talked about, go ahead and give me a call. I urge you. It's no burden on me, and I just want to help you unburden yourselves, and hopefully we can spread some awareness. And I have one last. I know this sounds strange. Obviously, I'm a man of the faith. But is there any chance you would let us, and this won't be reported, we won't write anything in an article about this, but is there any chance we could just take a look at his bedroom? We won't touch nothing. I know that can be painful for parents sometimes, so I totally understand if you don't want me to, but it's just the sense around it. Sometimes it's hard as a parent to see things moving. You see it every day. Just to take my friend here to take a look and just feel about.
I understand the thought there, sir. And he looks back at the house. Like I said, my wife can't really handle this at the moment. If you could She usually goes out into town early afternoon. I'm off myself tomorrow. If you could come back maybe early afternoon, noonish time, I can let you inside and take a look.
Do you have a phone number that we could call you with to call ahead and make sure that it's convenient for us to come by? Or
Of course. And he starts like patting like his shirt, like trying to see if he even had a pen on him. Do you
I'm holding a pad of paper writing,
right.
so I'll just hand it to him. It's obvious I've been taking notes. There's nothing salacious, so I'll just hand it out towards him and ask him to write it down.
Yeah, of course. And he'll write down his phone number and like just underneath it as well, like put like 12 to like 1, and like did you ask for somebody else's phone number or?
No, I gave him my card to give to his
Right.
wife in case she needed to talk with my phone number on it, my cell phone
Okay.
number.
So then he'll just write down his phone number and like I said underneath like in like a circle of like 12 to 1 and hand that back to Sean.
And just out of curiosity, or just for my knowledge, do you want me giving you a call if we have any potential information, regardless how minor, or for follow? Are you open for follow-up questions if we feel anything important comes up?
Yeah, absolutely. This is my cell phone number, so you won't even get the chance of potentially hitting my wife. But also, of course, anything you get, please give to the sheriff right away.
Again, absolutely, and I thank you very much for your time. And I again sympathize with what happened to your son. And as a father myself, I can understand the sort of hell that you're going through right now.
I thank you, and he'll stand up and reach out to shake both your hands.
Yeah, I'll stand up and shake his hand and just one last time, like, look towards where his face is, like, where I sounded like how tall I was. Thank you for taking your time, but don't let your wife suffer alone. I know you're there for her, but if she needs anyone else, just call me.
Oh, sir, I'll let her know about your offer for sure. It might help her a lot. I just didn't wanna push her too close to this conversation.
You're a smart man.
So he'll see you two off, like back towards your car, wait for you to drive off, and then head back inside.
Do I know if Sean has a child?
I don't think you
I
brought
would
it
have
up before that.
never said that. So
Okay, can I check? Can I roll and see if he was lying?
Sure. Modi, you can feel free to roll against if you need to.
above board, Sean was actually being honest and tapping into his real emotions to be convincing with that statement.
I only get one success, so I guess I would know he's not lying at least.
You would definitely get an empathetic sense from his tone and everything that makes you feel like that was probably real.
Okay.
Alright, and back with our boys, Brother and Chad, heading out towards Tharp Church in the park to get some cameras set up.
I would assume I have like a flashlight in my car, right? Because
Yeah,
it is
sure.
evening. Okay.
Yeah.
As much as I'd love to go out in the woods in the middle of the night without light.
It's about the same time they went to go see the family, and it's late summer, so at about 8 to 9, yeah, it's the sun setting, but there's still a little bit of light, but flashlight will help.
Yeah. And then once we park, I'll pull out the hunting rifle again and give Chad the handgun that he used last time.
I'll pull out the handgun that I brought from the apartment. I got one. I'm good, thank you.
Okay. I'll just put it in like my back pant. Kind of like tuck it in between. I don't know.
In my back pant.
Yeah, I don't know what you call that. The waist, the back waist of the pants.
Waistband of your pants.
Yeah, that.
How dark is it? Sorry, you said it's 9 o'clock.
It's like 8, late summer, so still some sunlight, but heading towards sunset. And
Gotcha.
with trees around, that's going to give it a little more shade. But yeah, it's still some light. You can see where you're walking fine. If you want to see any details, the flashlight will probably be helpful.
Right. Then yeah, I'd start heading towards the. I mean, if you want me to do a survival roll, or how do you want to do this for setting
I
up good
would.
cameras?
We'll say that you know exactly where the trail started from the back of the church, but to find the trails again, give me your perception survival roll, but it is going to be difficulty 9.
I will say that I think we should put a camera like where the tracks kind of fork, because we do have 5 cameras. So do we need to do anything to install it, or just kind of stick it in a tree
We're rolling, dog.
to find the tracks, not to install a camera?
Okay. Boom, 0 successes.
I'm guessing mine is also difficulty 9.
Yep, because you ran into something fun the other day.
I mean, I've broken down vault doors.
I know, go for it, son. That was a 10 roll. 10 difficulty. Sorry, Kozark was losing it because he didn't realize that I put on forest sounds and thought he was going nuts.
Nah, 0 successes for me. You said survival, right? Not investigation?
Yeah, it was a survival and perception. What were you trying to roll?
To find the tracks.
You
But-
actually got a bunch.
I mean, I can.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, I could roll investigation.
Oh, man. Do you like kick dirt around so it makes it even harder to find it next time?
I don't know.
You feel a strange kind of gust of wind, like, move over your body, and then you see a trail that goes in a different direction that you'd followed before.
Do I only see it, or does he see it too?
Just you. Unless you point it out to him?
Yeah, I'll use discern for one, and then I'll say like, "Hey, was this trail here before?" Because I don't remember it being there.
I'll walk up. And do I see the trail now? Or can only he see the trail?
Sorry, I had to fix a window. If you go and look where he's pointing at a trail, you won't see it.
Big man. I don't know. It's kind of dark out here. I don't see anything.
I'll kind of shine the flashlight and like point, like, you don't see that trail right there. And my discern is on for 10 minutes, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't see it. Do I just see like bushes?
Yeah, it just looks like regular leaves. It doesn't look like it's been disturbed the way that you are used to seeing it while trailing.
Well, no, I mean like so I don't see a trail, but he does.
Yes.
All right. Man, I don't know if this is one of those weird letters floating around telling me spiritual shit, but this is all you, man. I don't see it.
Well, this may be what happened to us earlier, that weird feeling that we got.
I'll take your word for it, man, but I don't know. This is all you, man. This ain't me.
Well, the question is, do we walk headfirst into the trap, or do we ignore the signs?
Let's set up the cameras and then investigate the trail. In case we have to book it out of here, I don't want to have to come back and set up these cameras again. How about we set up the trail cameras and then we go down your weird trail.
I'll kind of nod, and again, I'll kind of make sure a bullet's in the chamber of the hunting rifle, and kind of keep my eyes open.
Can I see your phone?
I'll hand over my phone.
What kind of? You're a rich dude. You have a smartphone, right? You're not.
Yeah,
rocking
whatever
a
the
flippy
latest version is.
iPhone or Android. What do you got?
I don't know what year is it. Androids kind of suck in the early years, so probably iPhone.
Oh,
This-
my games are modern unless I say otherwise.
Yeah, this is nowadays.
2017.
Oh, it's 2017. Oh, I got that Samsung S8 Plus.
All right, I'll just turn on the flashlight from that and see if it can help me re-find the trails that we couldn't find earlier.
Oh wait, I have a flashlight. You don't need my phone,
Yeah, but you're going to use the flashlight. I'm going to use your phone.
but I have two flashlights.
You have two flash. All right, I'll take your flashlight too.
Yeah, I have like arson 2.
You're good. All right, yeah. I'll use this flashlight and see if I could try and find the. If I remember, there was a couple of trails I had an easy time with. I want to try and find those again.
Yeah, you got no successes though, so it looks like the trails are gone. I will say, because it was kind of a straight path in, you could by memory head in, but it's gonna be a lot more difficult to find your way back to either of those two trees since they are gone.
Why do we have to roll such shitty rolls on survival every time?
Well, I mean, you guys also got a bit of a curse from a nice botch.
What is
Sure.
the what's the memory roll? Intelligence and
Ugh.
Ugh.
investigation.
Yeah, whatever is your best towards finding things. If
Or like academics.
it's not academics, that's books.
I
But
mean,
I'll allow perception or intel, or actually, really any of the mental with investigation would be fine.
difficulty 6.
Yeah, there's not a great one set up for memory as far as I've ever encountered.
2.
Okay. So yeah, you followed Chad before, so you start heading into the woods.
Oh my god, he got a botch!
Okay,
Not
that's it.
just a
We are
botch.
redoing these groups. You two are not allowed to go anywhere together. One of you two have to split up. You cannot go together.
That's not just
You
a
will
bot.
come
That's a
with one of-
fucking critical bot.
You will come with one of us to even out these fucking dice rolls.
We will hold your hands.
This is how you hunter.
We need a
You can't die
bubble.
by botch.
How
we need
bad
a-
is that stroke?
We need a bubble just protecting us.
All right. Before next session, you guys are both going to find a live goat. And I hope you know what to do. And an old preacher and a young preacher.
We're gonna have to drink some blood of some virgins and all that fun stuff.
Father Lila's gonna walk up. I don't think
Does-
Jesus can help you now.
Does Chad just have like a brain aneurysm?
And you died. Please roll up a new character.
I was about to take a break around this time anyway, and I think I need it myself personally.
I think these woods are cursed. I think that's what it is.
Well,
It's not
I-
If they
It's
weren't
just-
before, they are now. Thank you.
Did you put your lucky underwear on?
Oh fuck! No, it's new underwear.
Oh my god, Char, we talked about this.
I'm sorry, guys.
Lucky undies always.
Always. All right. Are we taking a break?
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick little break and we'll do a normal AMA. Brother in chat, are you available? Because I feel like this would be a good one.
Yeah.
Let's
Sure.
talk about how much we suck at rolling dice.
It's just in this one spot.
We'll duel it up. You just ask Revolver and Shard questions about themselves or the character. Do it up. I need a moment.
Graham, I feel like that's getting off easy. I mean, you can just pull that out and it's no problem. I feel like she cursed
I
us
don't know,
last time
man.
we got a double botch. I feel like it's gonna be pretty bad.
Getting sodomized by a tree branch is not going easy, I think.
I don't know.
I think that's pretty traumatizing. to
Modi,
think.
you're just gonna ask a question and walk away, Modi. Anyways, I don't think like the only time we do this is literally in this spot in the game. So I think there's some bad juju here that's happening.
And then when we get to shoot something, we'll get like criticals, and then we find out that we're shooting each other.
I'm gonna turn and think that you're like the vampire from my past because my memory's so bad, and it's just gonna be bad.
What? There's 10s on these dice? I thought there was zeros.
Bullshit.
Pretty
My dice only go up to 1 to 5. That's it.
I thought mine were like 0 to 9. So check your D10s, bro.
Yeah, this is not good. One, we came out here to do something, and we end up just fucking it up even more.
Yeah. It's God's way of saying it's God's test, okay? It's the voice's test. It's like I have to make these hunters suck ass, and then, you know, if they damn me, then fuck them. But if they press on, then I'm gonna give them all the 10s.
Yeah, it's going to be a good story at the bar later. We get to tell Father and Sean about it, so it'll be good.
Nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened.
We show back up.
And I just like look directly at the door at you guys. I feel the devil in you boys.
We're just gonna be covered in mud and sticks and twigs, and just like we don't want to talk about it.
There's like deer feces we stepped in. Big old bear poops.
Zavani, I don't know. I mean, he would hate him, one, because he's a human, and Roland's not really down with blood bags, and I don't know. Chad, there's nothing wrong with Chad, but yeah, he probably wouldn't love him. He wouldn't be his favorite person.
It's okay. We're just adding the suspense up, is all.
For sure. I feel like now we just have to go down your magical hallucination trail, and
I got 2 successes, so I mean, I guess it's whoever's more convincing.
it's true. I do have pretty high what is it? Manipulation? Oh yeah, I got pretty high manipulation.
Mine's not bad. I got a 1.
Oh, okay.
But I have good leadership.
Ooh, lead me down your fucking imaginary trail.
I'm imagining us just like at the fork of the road. I'm like, I see an invisible path there. And they're like, well, let's like try to remember where these paths are. And you're like, I think it's that way. Like, no, it's this way. No, what are you talking? It's that way. No, look, okay, I saw the imaginary path. I get it, okay? But I'm telling you it's this way. And you're like, listen, dude.
It's down. I'm like, I remember, man. We had to dig 8 feet down into the ground to find it.
You don't remember digging to China? Like, come on, dude. That was part of it.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Prepare yourselves.
Is it coming back to us, or is it going over to?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be you guys.
Okay.
I would have switched if I was even more ready, but I was not, so now. So Chad tries to discern the path that he'd followed before. Brother had got a sense of it, so we started walking just basically straight from the back of the church into the woods. Chad's trying to get a better sense of it, find those footpaths, and as he's trying to sense it and remember, he hears something that sounds like whistling through the trees. And both of you will suddenly see the nearby tree branches actually all turn and point in a specific direction.
I know I didn't say this before. No, that'd be a dumb idea anyways. I'll kind of, with like one, like my non-dominant hand, I'll like shine the light over to where the tree's branches are, and then like kind of rest my hunter rifle like on top of my, kind of like that, so I'm pointing the light and pointing the gun.
What whistling do I hear?
It sounds kind of like whistling through the trees of like a strong breeze, but it also almost sounds more like music. It's very strange. And then, brother, you've already felt this a bit. Is that like breeze that pushed against your body? Now both you and Chad will feel it.
It's not the whistling. Would I recognize the whistling from my past?
No, it's not
Okay.
that.
Okay, cool. But Chad will still go and cock back the slide on his gun and put a round in the chamber. I think I see that trail you're talking about, man.
Yeah, something wants us to go that way. Let's continue down the path that I can remember and set up one of these cameras.
All right, man.
Just keep your wits about you, son. We'll be okay.
Yeah. Chad will kind of like walk, hand in or gun in both hands, pointed at the ground, kind of like side to side, just like really looking around, making sure nothing's coming.
This is gonna turn into aliens. This is a bug hunt.
Alright, so the trees are kind of pointed to the right, and brother would have probably remembered the path that you guys followed with the large footprints a little more to the left. So if you guys try to like trail along that direction, brother at least, give me another survival perception. Make sure you're going the right way, recognize the right trees and space along the ground.
6.
Yeah.
2.
Alright, yeah, you start recognizing, like, it's wood, so, like, someone who doesn't have as good perception might, like, get a little lost, but you're recognizing, like, there was that, more sapling tree over there, these branches, and things like that. You're keeping a pretty steady path towards where you eventually found that set of trees, and after a little while, you do actually see them in the distance. There's these large larger trunked 3 trees with their branches tied up at the top. At this point, it's getting a little closer and closer to 9-ish. Sun is like nearly set, so there's a bit of late dusk light left over, but otherwise you will have to be using your flashlight to see much.
Yeah, mine was already on anyways. I don't know about yours.
Yeah, he'll do the old, like, you see it in every cop movie. Your offhand has like the flashlight underneath the gun and you're walking forward.
Mm-hmm.
Chad's ready to shoot.
Yeah. And I'll point over to the trees. Like, there's the weird tree branch tying thing.
Bang.
All right, man. Do you know how to set these up, or do you need me to?
What was it? Computer intelligence, right? Or technology?
It's technology, but they're very simple, so I'm not actually too worried about you guys. Does at least one of you have technology?
There actually isn't a technology. It's only computer. But I have 1 in computer.
Yeah, I got 3 in computer and 1 in technology.
Wait, really? I don't have technology on my sheet.
All the way on the bottom, underneath the computer?
No, it's fair
Underneath
enough.
science?
Technology is a little more hardware. Like, this is, like, as long as you understand computer things. And
Oh,
read
mine's under...
instruction.
Yeah, mine's under survival. I don't have anything in technology.
No. It's fine. They're not that hard to work with, so...
Also,
Okay.
I've set these up, so if you haven't, I know what I'm doing.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
just...
fine with having a mix of computers, technology, and survival to set up trail cams.
Okay. Yeah, I'll kind of nod. Like, yeah, I think I can understand this. You just set where you wanted and point.
Yeah, just make sure you have the angle right and make sure it's on.
Yeah, and I'll put 1. Actually, well, we have 5. We have 4 now.
Yeah.
I'll put 2 here, maybe. I'll put like 1 on like one of the trees that is like in this where, like, because it's tied. The branches are tied, right? So
Yeah,
I'll put 1 like
I'll
right
give
there.
a little more detail is that there's 3 trees that are almost in like a nice triangle with about maybe 5 feet between each other. They're actually pretty close. There's obviously more trees around, but they're maybe a little bit further away, 7 feet or so. This is like a almost like very closely odd like triangle of trees very close to each other, and their branches at about the same height, about 10 feet up, are tied together with a rope. So I just need to know basically angle and height of where your 4 are gonna go. Are they gonna go on those trees directly or outside?
I was gonna say one goes on it directly and one overlooks the 3 trees.
If you, this would be we could do this in character if you want to have the conversation.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, I was thinking one at the 3 trees there, and then one overlooking the trees.
I don't know what this thing is. So I mean, maybe you can give me some insight on it. But if it is intelligent like us, and I saw one of these cameras on my teleporter, whatever you want to call it, I'm breaking it and I'm searching for all the other ones, and I know someone's on me. If they're dumb, if they are animals, it is fine. But if they are as intelligent as you and I, then we should probably take a couple steps back, just get a nice wide angle shot of it, set the timer for quick shots so we can get a couple of shots of it moving in and out, and we should be good.
I'll go with that. He obviously knows more about this stuff than I do. So we'll set 2. Like 2 different angles. Like one kind of like from the south and one from the north. Or like southwest and northeast.
Yeah, I don't know how we would exactly explain that. I mean, I feel like we should get one. So if something is walking from the church to the teleporter, it could be angled so you see the front of whatever is heading towards the teleporter, and one facing towards the teleporter, so anything moving from the teleporter to the church, you can see the front of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Essentially, since it's a like triangle set of trees, there are mostly like 3 angles that would catch it all if anyone's coming towards this little triangle.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Sense.
Because that's what I was basically explaining, but he added the church. So I'll set up those cameras relatively high.
I was gonna add though, like the church is several yards away. So if you were just trying to catch anything going through this area, especially, and you have one near the church.
No, like the direct, like if like what he's saying is like the teleporter. Like if someone were to walk towards the church, like from the teleporter, to have a camera angled like that.
Gotcha.
And then a camera looking at the teleporter from where like the church is. So like the church and then the camera, then the teleporter.
It's hard to explain without like showing you, but
I know.
Yeah.
I didn't have like a map, and like I could even draw one, but it's also awkward because it's like I'd have to draw the church or what's in. But I understand what you mean actually. So that's all I needed. So later stuff I can apply.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are getting all of these set up. It's 9-ish. It takes you a little while. You're discussing this, actually getting them set up. In the midst of actually getting them all set up, a bit to your left and further in the woods, you actually hear what sounds like 2 younger people, like teenagers, kind of laughing and walking along.
Yeah, I'll kind of, I don't know if Chad can see me, but I'll motion to kind of get down and hide behind a tree or like a bush and turn off the light.
Yeah, I'll turn off my light and yeah, do a little hiding, a little hunting, hiding.
Yeah, and I don't know if my discern is still on, but if not, I can turn it back on.
Yeah, sure. Let me double check real quick. Alright, Chad does have stealth, brother does not.
I'm a big man.
You are a big man. Like even if you had stealth, I'd be like, higher difficulty.
Pretend
but
to
you
be a
guys
tree.
just pick up some twigs and just be like. Alright, so but you two both try to like duck down behind like a couple trees a little further away. It is getting dusky. It's a little darker out in the woods. It's but easier to hide in general. So you both kind of duck down and wait as you kind of sit down and wait and listen. You hear this laughter, grow a little louder. There's like just some like chitter chatter. Doesn't sound like it's much of the conversation means too much. So even if you hear like the words, you don't know what they're really like talking about. It's out of context. But if you give me perception alertness rolls,
Yes.
see what you can see.
What do you have and I see?
Pretty much.
Why?
That alertness, right? Oh my god! What the fuck? Okay, you said a perception alertness, right?
Yes.
Can we just ban them from rolling?
Is this curse real, Spira? Did you actually curse it?
I made the woods half cursed, but Jesus Christ.
I got 4
Did you, like,
successes.
spit on like a witch doctor or something? Like, what did you two do?
Who knows?
Hey, I didn't fail. I got 4 successes. Char is the one that didn't put on his lucky underpants, okay? And now he's paying for it dearly.
Full price.
Wow, 4 ones. That's amazing. Is that considered a crit fail?
No, if you have a success in there, you can't botch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's okay, but like, Jesus, I'm still just like, oh.
He's getting all the bad rolls out of the way now.
For sure. The beginning of his
Yeah.
hunter career.
Let's check back with Sean and Father anyway though. It's been a little while. Let's see what they're up to. They just got some information from a guy. They're gonna go do some more stuff.
Hey, Father, would you like to go roll some dice and not botch?
I'm gonna
Why,
laugh. if
Sean?
you-
That sounds like a really good idea.
I'm gonna laugh if you guys crit fail now.
Yeah, that would be triple crit fail.
What do we gotta do? Lose my vision?
I mean, you could go deaf.
That would really suck.
So next up on our list is we could go meet with Ian Jackson's family and see if we can learn anything there. That's the other kid who disappeared. This one was Ian Jackson was the one just a month ago.
Yes, that was the much more recent disappearance.
Sounds good to me, Sean. As long as you don't think it's getting too late.
What time is it about now?
By this time, it's definitely heading a little closer to 9, 8:30 to 9 o'clock.
That's lovely.
Like, I don't want to trash your timeline, Spira. But, like, I don't want to roll up at someone's door like, hey, it's almost bedtime. Want to talk about your missing kid?
Not to push it, but I know you guys also wanted to do some internet stuff together.
I wanted to do no internet things. I think we're just waiting to see if the daughter accepts the friend request, and we haven't had that yet.
You can't set up a Facebook profile. You said you were gonna have Sean help you.
Sean did already. He set it up in the car.
Okay.
He already had it and added her. We're waiting to see if she responds.
Oh, alright, well, I sorry, I forgot that and I meant to say at that point, yeah, she would have later in the evening.
Oh, she did accept it.
Yeah, because you set up a fake one, right?
Yeah, just
Sean
like,
did.
oh, I moved away in middle school, but I'm back now. Let's get together, sort of like random stock photo girl with generic person name.
Yeah, my apologies. I remember now we got to that part, and my next point was that, yes, she did accept it.
Actually, on our way back, Sean, do you think it would be too much of an inconvenience if we just drove by the mayor's house? Or do you think that risky?
What do you hope I'll see?
You know, like you said, feeling of the skin crawling on the nape of your neck. Maybe we'll. I'm not thinking we'll see anything. I'm more wondering if we'll feel anything.
Sure, a harmless drive-by can't be anything. I mean, it's a small town to get from anywhere. Um, yeah, we can do that. Do you have any other plans this evening, or I was going to head to one of the local watering holes and get dinner, see if I can feel anything out with just the general people there, if there's anyone getting particularly just the vibe in the air. You know, there's a lot you can tell by what people aren't saying as much as what they are.
I just think I could use a bit of a nice evening out. So I'd love to go back to one of your, maybe the bar we stopped at the first time. That was an interesting place.
Sure. So we will go ahead and drive by the mayor's place, and can we do awareness checks to see if there is any vibes?
Yes, you can. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna discern.
Yeah, go ahead and use discern. And Sean, do you have discern? All right, then just perception awareness is fine.
One success, no ones.
Do you want to roll perception awareness as well?
No, you got discern. That's good enough. It's like the same, except potentially better, depending on your scores. And can show you things a bit differently. Of course, and you have the discern to, as a blind person, to actually see things. So as you sort of like roll up in a car, park, maybe slowly drive by, and take a look at the house, from Father Lily's point of view, there is definitely an aura around the place that is very unpleasant. Definitely reminds you of the daughter. Every off feeling you had about her, you're reminded by it, by this aura, and still again pulls up that feeling of something infernal, something very unclean to like even like your religious sense. And for Sean, you'll get the watered down sense of that. Something's up, but you're not sure exactly what.
Can I check specifically, like look around the perimeter of the property for like glyphs or like, you know, pentagrams or like, you know, any sort of runes carved into stuff?
Even if you did, there's nothing. It's just this aura about whoever is inside the building.
Does the aura seem focused on the building or like off center, like it's in the left side of the building or right side or just around?
You definitely sense it a little closer to the upstairs, maybe a right side room.
So it doesn't feel like it's the building itself. It might be something in the building or a specific room.
More what's in the building, but like a little bit permeates the area.
I'll just kind of look over at Sean. I think the daughter's home.
Is this the same sort of feeling you got from her earlier, or is this just, can you tell?
If I were a betting man, I would bet it's the exact same feeling.
Well, at least it's being consistent.
One would prefer it stop entirely, but yes, at least it's consistent. But it seems like it's the daughter and maybe not the building. I was worried if it was corrupted grounds of some variety, but we best keep moving. If you can sense them, they might be able to sense you. So
Before, like, even as the words start coming out of his mouth, keep driving off. Making my way towards the bar. I think we need to think up a really good plan on how we approach that, because if she's if her aura's bleeding off this strong, I'm caution is the name of the game.
Forget about it getting alone time with the mother. I'd like alone time with that girl.
Do you think about your words sometime, priest?
Don't be dirty, son. You know what I meant.
Yes. But I'm trying to think of a good reason that would alert suspicion with you having already showed up at the mayor's office or just our general snooping. That again, we have to be careful. We have to think of something that's plausible before we just dive into this.
Oh, I agree. I didn't say I was going to Insta-Facebook her and ask her to come to a dark room with me. I just said I think it would behoove us to have a interaction without people in the crossfire. Whatever she is, either what's in her needs to go or she needs to go. And the sooner that's done, the sooner that's one less piece of this puzzle we have to deal with. You can't allow her to keep spreading her corruption. There's at least 2 people in this city already that she's tainted, or whatever tainted her tainted them. But we can't allow it to continue to spread when we know clearly what it is.
I agree with you completely, but we have no idea what we're dealing with. We don't know whether there's 1, 2, 3 different things lurking this area. Timothy never left the city, or the city is the impression I got. Everything else is happening out deep in the woods. I'm starting to get a suspicion that there are 2 different events going on simultaneously. One surrounding whatever's happening in this church, and very possibly the mayor's daughter is a separate thing. Whether they're
Good, then let's excise one of them before they conflate and cause us a bigger issue.
or if we exercise the servant, the master might get wise. Trust me, I want nothing more than to drive that thing from this earth as much as you do, but
I merely want to confront it. We will decide if it's useful to keep it alive or kill it at that point, depending on what we learn from it. But nothing motivates a demon like banishing them back to hell. And we certainly will not learn much talking nicely, and worse, meanwhile she is corrupting more souls. I understand we need to see the full picture, but these are not...
You have no evidence.
The mayor
you
has
could
been
drive
touched.
the master to the ground.
The sheriff has been touched. She has been touched. There are bodies missing, medical records that aren't complete. Something is wrong, and it might be spreading. I think we need to get rid of her or contain her as soon as possible. She's the only clear threat. Either way, there's nothing we'll do tonight, Sean, so there's no decisions that need to be made now. I'm just saying I think that our best bet is to make haste.
I will take your opinion into consideration and think on it.
As will I yours, and everyone else's. Now how about that drink?
Absolutely. And we'll make our way back to the... What did we call it? The rusty bucket? I have it written somewhere.
It was shotgun something?
Yeah,
The
The
natural one.
buckshot!
Buckshot, yeah, it was buckshot.
Thank you for remembering, because I was proud of it, and then I forgot. Yeah, so you guys are gonna head over to the Buckshot Tavern. But let's go back to the woods with Brother and Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah. What can possibly go wrong?
I love your enthusiasm. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I can't hear or see anything, and brother can, but I don't think we rolled for hiding. Do we need to do that or no?
I hadn't made your roll yet. Both of you. Well, I don't think brother has any stealth. But Chad,
I can still try.
I'm
can.
just like, do we need to? Are they like near us enough to see us, kind of a thing? Like it was just the.
They're a little farther off, and it's getting darker. But Chad, if you want to, go ahead and roll Dex and Stealth. And for brother, you can roll Dex at 8.
Can I roll Dex and Academics?
No.
I've read about this hiding in my books.
I've actually been super lenient. There is a rule that says if you don't have the skill or talent or knowledge for something, like if you only have your regular attributes, it is always higher difficulty. I've been lenient sometimes.
Look at that. 6 successes.
See where it counts. We both get a 10.
I can't hear or see them, but I can fucking hide from them all day.
Alright, yeah, so you guys find a better bit of like, shrubbery nearby the trees that you can still like listen and pay attention and maybe even watch for these 2 young teens that seem to be walking by. But you yourselves are a bit more hidden away unless someone's particularly looking for something. But you continue listening, and these 2 continue to walk closer and closer to where sort of like the trio of trees are. And they're just laughing. You hear like a weird kind of metal clicking.
Are they supernatural?
You
I
have
might
your
discern. Yeah.
You definitely get a sense of the supernatural. I will need whatever's higher, perception, alertness, or awareness, since you already have discern up. Whichever one's higher is fine. But I'll need you to do that to get a better look at them from where you're hiding.
Okay. And important fact, do I know where Chad is hiding? I did get a 4, but he got a 5.
Sure, I thought you guys might hide near each other, but Chad, let me know if you decided to like run off elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm not like running off. He could probably see me, and I'm trying to hide from the kids. So like, there's probably like a tree in between me and them, and I was kind of like creeping, like leaning over and just doing some old hunting, spot stalking, as they call it.
Sounds good. So yeah, brother, I'd say you could probably like see him.
I got
You
a
saw
1.
where he went.
Okay, I got 1, and if he like makes eye contact with me, I'll like point up like 2 fingers, like there's 2, and I'll kind of like go that way, like point the direction they're at.
All right. They're still further away, and with a 1 and them being further away, I'll say that you do pick up one. Looks like a younger male teenager, and he's wearing like a hoodie and like jeans, but it's actually still barefoot. He has like short, kind of medium length hair. But as your discern sees him, there's this strange glow about him, but not like the ones you've seen before, where it's just like your discern is telling you this is supernatural. Something is supernaturally touched this. The glow is much more like the inside of a lantern. Something very like, kind of fire, like almost emanates from within his chest outward of his body. And there is a young girl walking along with him. She's similarly wearing like a baggy t-shirt and like ratty jeans. And something about her skin and like hair seems to like match more the trees around her than like normal human skin. It looks brown and crackled.
Can I do an occult check to see if I know like what the hell I'm looking at here?
Give me intelligence occult at 9.
Nope.
What do I see of them? I know I got a pretty bad alertness roll towards them.
You just got a sense of supernatural. Without discern, you wouldn't be able to pick up any of that physical stuff that brother saw. You're sure that they're not like specifically normal, but you can't pick up anything else.
I was just, could I see that they don't have shoes on?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so I'll just kind of wait and keep my eyes on them, and then like periodically look at Chad.
If we make eye contact, I'll kind of like tap my shoe to try and point at them to hopefully get the sense that he understands that they're barefoot and they're the ones who left our tracks.
Yeah, I saw that they're barefoot, right?
Yeah. And so they walk closer and closer to the trio of trees that have their branches tied together. The actual conversation, you heard them like talking a bit, dies off. So you don't hear them talking anymore, but there's still like a little bit of like giggling, and another like almost musical twinkling of wind comes through the trees until they reach the actual trio, and they both sort of like lean against the widest trunk. They're both pretty skinny and smaller, like middle school to high schooler kids, and just like lean against it and kind of stare off in your general direction.
I'll hide behind the tree, like complete concealment, like I can't see them, kind of thing, and I will kind of try to make eye contact with Chad to urge him to do the same.
Chad will very slowly, like he's not going to be like, oh, like he's going to very slowly like move his head out of their sight.
The younger boy, with the like short brown or blondish hair, but otherwise is the one that has this like light emanating out of himself. And your discern's still up?
Yeah, but I can't see him at the moment.
Okay. But you'll hear what sounds like a repetitive, not tit 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 tit, but like over and over, like a couple different clicks of metal.
I'm not the most stealthiest of person. Would I have to roll a stealth check if I wanted to like peek again?
Yes.
Then I'm just gonna stay hidden.
Okay.
How far away are we from them?
By the description of what you guys said you were doing, 10 yards?
Oh,
Like inside of the trees, but
all right. He'll give a little peek around to see if they're still there, kind of a thing. See what they're up to.
they are. They're just kind of hanging out by that tree, and you'll at least see the young boy doing something with his hands, like a repetitive, weird motion.
Is there anything? Can I notice if there's anything in his hands, or is he just doing like fucking Naruto jujitsu shit with his hands?
Give me. It's weird because I'm like, give me perception alertness, but you're also trying to say stealth. I'm okay with you staying stealth, but definitely give me perception alertness to see if you can tell exactly what he's doing.
All right, watch me botch this and like sneeze.
Also, because like since he's rolling, do we recognize the faces? Because we did look at the missing kids as well as the dead kids.
Faces don't look familiar.
Okay, I was just curious.
No problem. That's one of those things that, like, even if you rolled and you got a success, I'd be like, nah, you don't.
There we go. 4 successes.
Nice. Alright, so you peek around your little hidey space and try to get, like, a quick look of, like, what this kid's doing. And you notice there's still just a little bit of light around. And from the light coming off of it, you see he has a Zippo he's just doing lighting tricks with.
All right, I'll just keep on watching. Is he staring at the Zippo, or is he staring off towards us still, or?
They're staring in your direction, but like you could kind of tell not directly at you, just kind of off in that direction, as if they're almost like waiting for something else.
Oh God. All right. Yeah, I'll just keep on doing my Spock. We're just gonna sit there and watch.
Alright, you guys feel a larger gust of cool wind coming from way behind you, like it even rustles your hair as you continue to wait. And we're gonna go check with Father Lily and Sean real quick. Where are you guys at again?
Heading to the buckshot.
You guys are heading to the buckshot, yes.
I actually now kind of really want to open a bar called the Buckshot for like townies and shit. Oh my God, it's such
I mean, it's a good name, right?
and the signature house drink is the Buckshot. And it's served in shot glasses carved from antler.
Yeah, like Tennessee would be a great place for that too. Alright, so you guys are heading over to the Buckshot. You want to see if you can find any townies that maybe have some more information, anyone you recognize, anyone that stands out. So you walk inside, unless you got something else you're doing.
No, walk inside. I would buy myself a Boilermaker and look over at the priest expectantly what he's ordering.
I'll like smile to myself after hearing your pause and just point over towards yours. I'll have what he's having.
He'll smile and wait for the drinks to be served. Hand the priest his, grab his, and make his way over to a open booth, if there is one, and start enjoying his drink.
Alright, I'm gonna say while all this is going on, you do notice the sheriff is there at a table.
Okay. Is he with anyone, eating, drinking, alone?
He is all by himself at a round table, not a large one, like maybe a 4-person seater, but he is by himself, and he does have a large pint and what looks like 3 shots that have already been drank, and a 4th one full of a brown kind of obviously whiskey drink, and not like your cheap like Applebee's shots, like the half rocks glass type shots, half gone. You can see his face, like a little bit of red in his cheeks. He's obviously had a few already.
Is there food in front of him, or is he just pounding alcohol this time?
He's just having some drinks.
Okay. Overall, what's the kind of mood? Because it's, I don't know, 9 o'clock on a Saturday. I mean, I don't expect it to be party in here, but is it a general? Do people seem like they're there enjoying themselves, having a good time, or are things
Yeah,
rowdy?
it's a bit
miserable?
of a it's a bit of a hole in the wall, but because it's a Saturday, you've got some more guys and gals that are like having a good time. They're using the dartboard, and there's a couple women like sitting together with their wine. Lots of guys with a few pints in front of them. The sheriff actually looks kind of slightly like the odd man out, just sitting by himself with a bunch of booze in front of him. It's social, not crazy though.
So we'll just sit and enjoy, after taking the shot, enjoy the beer for a minute, and just kind of try to eavesdrop on the various conversations, see if there's anything that stands out or odd with the conversation in general.
Would I hear the sheriff's voice? Is he saying anything?
No, he's being quiet. He's just like that kind of like sat on the table, like head just staring off.
Does
Right.
he look distant, like gotta have had a long day, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's
I'll
not
look-
like weeping or anything like my son just died.
No, he's not upset. He's just like, I just need to like forget everything that happened today.
I'll just casually ask Sean. Anyone interesting here?
I'll describe the scene to you, and especially go through the details with the sheriff.
Well, the sheriff's here. Why don't we invite him over?
I mean, you've heard how much the man's had to drink. I'm debating how
Would that not
much
make
further
life
we
easier?
should enable it. Does the sheriff have his sight? Is he in sheriff's uniform? And if so, does he have his sidearm actively at his belt?
Yes. He's still like fully in uniform. Like he showed up at the bar to get his drink and then go home and actually like take everything off.
Because the man has his sidearm on him.
Now,
with that much to
Sean.
drink.
No man of the law is going to shoot us in the middle of a bar for asking to have a seat. You're too paranoid, son.
This is coming from the man who just had the discussion we had earlier, and you're calling me too paranoid.
I said I believe he is touched, not corrupted. Or not entirely. Besides, there's information to be had, and even demons don't go shooting people in the middle of bars.
He'll just sigh really loudly, get up and walk over to the bartender. It seems like sheriff's had a rough day. What can I get one more of what he's been drinking?
That was who, the bartender?
Yeah.
He just nods, walks off for a moment, grabs another little like, double shot glass, fills it with a generic whiskey you probably never even like heard of, like some like downtown folk thing, puts it in front of you. Anything for yourself?
I'll be back shortly, but still working on my pint.
Alright, and he goes back to like just cleaning glasses.
I'll pass by the priest on my way to the sheriff. Do you trust me to handle this, or do you want the honors? I mean, it might be a little difficult navigating the bar.
You are certainly snarky tonight, Sean. I'll trust you to make the right decision. If you'd like to go ahead, or if you'd like me to make the introduction. I don't believe you've met yet, have you?
No, I'll go ahead and make the introduction. Hopefully.
Well,
Sorry, what?
I'm perfectly fine finding my way to him. Just point me in the right direction. Or we could both just sit down at his table. Albeit maybe a little forward.
I come bearing gifts. We might be fine just being forward.
Nothing puts a man at ease like watching a priest drink, and I'm gonna like raise my beer.
I'll grab mine as well and make our guide the father over to the sheriff's bench.
What's the last one?
I'll grab my beer as well because the priest has his, and guide us all over to, or guide the priest over to the priest's bench.
Okay, I wouldn't
The
make
sheriff's bench.
I wouldn't make sure you were saying like you were actually gonna sit down at the table. Okay. So you actually approach him?
Yep.
So the sheriff, after you actually kind of like come around the table with the drinks, he isn't gone, but he's got that little like kind of bleary-eyed look of someone who maybe hasn't eaten in a little while and had a few drinks. Just good. You two, what can I do for you this evening?
And without saying anything, I'll just set the drink down in front of him and kind of bump the priest towards where the bench on the other side is. Just you look like you've been having a difficult day, and I think it's the least I can do to, offer to pick one up for you.
I'll just smile and I'll smile and raise my beer to him, like a big genuine smile. I'll be like, I wouldn't deny a man like you the chance to drink with a priest.
I appreciate it. And he just takes the drink, throws it back, and then takes a sip of the beer that's in front of him and puts that down.
Did he just leave me hanging?
Um.
I said I raised my beer to him. He didn't like nothing. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
I'll put the beer down and just kind of look down at it, well, that's weird.
Sean's going to slide into the bench and just kind of nudge the priest next to him on the other side from the sheriff. So, how you doing? You look like you've had a really rough day. I mean, we're here if you need to get something off your chest, man.
You can see his eyesight, trying to concentrate on you a bit, and looks a little annoyed. Just kind of, yeah, I've had a long day. I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm good. I just want to have a few drinks and go home to bed.
Can I get a perception empathy cheat from you? Can I read what he's going to respond to best?
Yes. Seven though? You don't know the guy?
No, ignore that last one. So, 4 successes.
Okay. So this is basically like an old school intuition bit where you want to know what'll best get him talking.
It's hard to use empathy in a roleplay.
You know by the way he's acting that this day has tired him. He went to check out the church, got a call from the mayor, and a few other things like that. Your best...
I knew about the call from the mayor.
Your best line of topic to maybe get him to open up a bit, especially after he's had a couple, might be casually asking things about the mayor. If you're too direct, he might shut down, but if you ask kind of in the right direction of just trying to get to know the city more and the mayor, not what he went to talk to her about, but maybe tell me more about the mayor. I know she's involved and has been concerned about these kids' disappearances, the churches, all that.
I was, did I tell you, Sean, I had to go by the mayor's office earlier today? Well, that's right, you dropped me off. I appreciate that.
You do see the sheriff's eyes light up a little bit, but doesn't say anything.
Anything to help you get around town, Father. It's not that you can necessarily drive yourself.
I appreciate it. She had a really nice secretary, but seemed a little on edge today. It was kind of strange. Oh, forgive me, Sheriff, if I'm boring you. This was after we had met in the morning.
You're fine. And he grabs his beer and takes a swig.
Interesting woman, her. Really. She seemed both concerned and not concerned about what's going on. I couldn't really get a beat on her exactly.
Of course Eliza's concerned, he mumbles.
Well, maybe she was just trying to calm, I guess. I mean, that is her job, isn't it?
Well, of course, she's the mayor. She doesn't want the town to be worried about what's going on.
No. Maybe it's me. I'm not from a smaller town like this, but usually, that's like you, Sheriff. Like you did, you talked to me. You told me, you had it in your hands. Seems like a mayor's head is usually about politics and other nonsense. Elections and zoning and things.
Maybe up north. Down here, the mayors around places, the towns like this down here in the south, they actually care about the people.
That must be interesting to experience, if I'm honest. I was a little put off. Not in a bad way, it's just I've never seen a mayor so passionate.
Yeah, Liza cares about the town and the people in it.
I think I ran into her daughter too. How nice to have her daughter come by her office. That's pretty generous. Always taking time out for family.
Sheriff Finnegan goes and finishes off his beer. Kind of slams it down a bit hard. Suzanne's a great kid.
Seems a little severe. You know what I mean? Just her tone seems grave. Like the world's on her shoulders. It was odd.
He scoots his chair back to stand up, and you see him kind of look through the last of his shot glass to see if anything's left, finds one with a tiny bit at the bottom, shoots that back real fast, and goes, "She had a bad time about a year ago. I'd give her a break," and he starts leaving.
Thank you for having a drink with the sheriff. I hope you have a nice night.
He just one hands up. Yeah. I don't know, but I'm just saying.
So I'm not going to respond. Yeah, I'm
Just noted in. Good night, Sheriff. Don't want to impress the guy.
Hey, Sean.
Yep.
Yeah, do you think you could do something with her name and a year ago? And I don't know if towns this small have their newspapers online, or maybe if we have to go to the library tomorrow, but what bad time may she have had a year ago? Or what bad was happening around here a year ago, you think?
I mean, I should be able to see if I can pull something. And, I mean, at worst, yeah, like you said, we can head up the library tomorrow. But
Yeah, any news about a year ago in this area, what could have been going bad? I think that's probably good information we could get from the internet.
And, excuse me, I'll be right back, but you look like you could use another shot. Now, unlike our sheriff here, I have to drive, so you look like you could use another shot.
Wow. I'm a man of God and all. I don't know if I should, Sean.
I need an excuse to get a drink, so just drink it.
That's fine, as long as it's suffering for your cause.
Thank you. I appreciate your willingness to serve. Sean will go ahead and walk up to the bar and get the bartender's attention again, and just if I could get another. So the sheriff, is he normally this stressed out? I mean, I guess I could understand how frustrating it would be in his position with churches burning down, kids going missing, and just his life's probably gotten to be a little special hell recently, right?
This is to the bartender?
Yeah.
So the bartender is just he's kind of cleaning a glass and puts one away and starts moving a couple bottles around. Yeah, no, it's not like James ever been a stranger to the bar, but yeah, it seems like some of the stuff that's happened recently has gotten to him a little bit more. So I still don't see him around. Trust me, it ain't every night. Guy still does his job. He's more concerned about taking care of the city than anything else, but tends to come by and and he nods at the table where he was sitting, just to have a few by himself and head home.
Man, it's a shame he drinks alone like that and doesn't He's not very social type.
Nah, James keeps himself for the most part. Like I said, it's the job or nothing really. He's got some buddies. They've played cards here, now and then, but yeah, not crazy social. Why are you asking?
Nah, I'm just kind of new to the area. Been kind of wandering for a little bit, and I've liked this town so far. It feels like I've come across a beautiful place at the wrong time, almost. The kids going missing and what happened over at Tharp's earlier this morning. It's a lot for a town like this.
The bartender nods along. It's just like, yeah. No, there's been a bit of bad luck around here. I think, not very normal around here. It's a quiet town. There's not too much trouble. Plenty of people getting arrested, but that's usually just drunk tank for a night or two, and then they're sent home. Nothing as strange as what we've seen lately.
You think it's gonna pass soon, this bout of bad luck?
Bartender shrugs. I hope so. I'd hate to see this become a normal thing, like some of that shit you see in the nearby cities.
I know exactly what you mean. I lived in a city for a while, and I much prefer this change of pace. So.
Well, if you're hanging around for a bit, the buckshot's always open.
I'll be sure to remember that. Pull up the drink and give him maybe an extra $1 tip, and head back over to the priest and set the shot down in front of him.
He just takes the tip and gives you a friendly nod and walks back to whatever he's doing. Good time to have our second break and other AMA before we finish up the night. So that'll be Father Lily and Sean Malcolm, played by Kozanark and Modi Answers, respectively.
Hey yo! Ask me anything.
Ask the questions of both Kozanark and Modi. Do it in whatever order. I don't care anymore because
I prefer the Kozanark, Modi, Kozanark, Modi, Kozanark order, if you could stick to that.
Or if you can just go ahead and ask us how it feels to not be botching tonight, we'll be sure to be happy to answer that.
Burn.
Hey, we're hiding from supernatural beings. What have you rolled lately?
Yeah, we're getting shit fucking done.
I'm sorry, it sounds like you're getting shit done to you. We're actually getting shit done, like information, whereabouts, context. You seem to be getting fucked by the woods.
We've even found time to, and knock a few back. So we got everything under control here.
Like not a lot of information coming from you guys.
More information than trees pointing at things.
We found the kids. One has a Zippo. He's the one setting shit on fire, obviously. Also, Rev, are we going to shoot these kids or no?
Are we killing children tonight?
Is
that what hunters do? Do they just shoot all supernatural things without seeing if they're good or not?
Pretty much.
Depends on the type of... it depends on the type of hunter you are.
You're a martyr, so you're a little bit more the type of potentially listen to them, maybe.
Yeah, you're supposed to run in front of his bullet to save the kid.
What?
It's
no,
actually
I don't care about them.
It's actually a negative quirk to have a supernatural informant that you kept alive.
All right.
Hunters are like, oh hell no.
Spira's all-time important thing here. Because it is also relevant, I would have to go with soft pretzels and cheese, because that just makes sense for me for some reason.
I would totally say Father Lily's favorite drink is going to be horrible rot gut whiskey, because he feels bad drinking it all because he really shouldn't be, but if he's going to do it, it might as well be painful.
So also like the self-flagellation of drinking.
Hey, you know, the teachings of Cathol run deep, so
Graham asks, how is Sean dealing with Lily's almost casual exterminatus viewpoint? He doesn't like it. He's dealing with it as in, yep, that's an opinion.
I don't get it. You're a
Although-
hunter. We're here to kill these things.
Sean's motivation is mostly selfish and less about potentially doing it right or anything like that. It's more of he doesn't feel like we've learned anything about what we thought, and that's frustrating to him because it's the whole, if you don't understand what you're fighting, you're doomed to make the same mistakes over and over. And yes, well, he wants the thing dead. It's like, I would like to know what it is, what its name is, how it bleeds, why it bleeds, what it's doing, and all this other stuff, so that next time this happens, it'll be 20 times easier. Is Sean's, it's not for the great humanitarian, oh no, we might injure an innocent or something. It's, no, he just is unsatisfied with how much he knows at the moment, so doesn't want the hunt to end too quick.
And just to answer it from the opposite direction is, Father Lily is weighing that as an opinion. So he's totally down with that idea, but at the moment it's just a 50-50 split between we should learn more and Father Lily's obvious, you don't let a murderer walk around for an extra couple months to see if maybe they murder a bit more and you have a bit more murder evidence. You arrest them as soon as you're pretty damn sure they're fucking murderers. So that's kind of where he's sitting. He's like, we know it's bad. Stop it now. Don't let it spread. That's like going, I know it's probably cancer. I know you have a scan that says it's cancer, but let's let the cancer grow and see if it gets worse, or maybe learn more about the cancer.
The thing is
I'm saying that's Lily's standpoint.
You suspect them of being guilty, so let's chop their head off, as opposed to collecting evidence, going to trial, establishing
No, I
evidence.
said confront her. I didn't say kill her. I said get her alone and, well, judge her. But yeah.
Oh yeah, because she's going to tell us everything. It'll be wonderful.
Demons don't tend to squeal unless you hurt them. In his opinion. The devil doesn't talk. Unless you push into a point. Or you let yourself be corrupted. But anyway, for me, seeing devil horns and devil auras is enough for at least to know that they're supernatural and bad. The extenuating circumstances will come out through interrogation. It's an interesting combo. I like it. But Father Lily would never do anything without talking to brother and, God damn it, Chard, why you gotta fuck with me?
What? What did I do?
Nothing, I remember your last name being Lily, and I'm like, God damn it.
You just change one letter. It's Char and Chad.
That's right. That's a good point. I'll try to remember that one. But Chad, he would definitely be like, what do you guys think we should do? But he's actually starting to lean a lot closer to brother's viewpoint right now. Like, let's get moving.
I mean, brother's viewpoint is only like that because he has a kid he wants to protect. And he's heard stories of kids going missing and dying. Therefore, he wants to make sure that his kid doesn't go missing or die.
I mean, that would be the same viewpoint of Father Lily. Literally, like, I don't want more kids going missing or dying.
All
I'll die
right.
every day.
Anyway, let's get back to the woods.
I pull out my flaming long sword and charge.
Nice.
I thought you were joking for a second. It's like, wait, no.
So Chad and brother are basically trying to hide and stealth near where the trio of trees with the tied branches are, and have seen these two teenagers roll up into the area. One of them wearing like a hoodie and like playing with a Zippo, trying to do like tricks and lighting it and setting it out again. And another young girl with long brown hair are sort of leaning against one of the trees, just kind of like giggling to each other and staring vaguely in the direction of where Chad and Brother are. Chad and Brother have also just felt a large gust of cool wind push against their backs.
Is the wind urging us to go towards the kids?
You just feel the wind.
Was the wind always blowing in this direction, or has it been changing every time it gust status?
It's been a bit changing, but you could kind of tell it was from around the same direction. This is much stronger, though, as if to maybe represent it being closer.
Yeah, I suggest we continue hiding. I'll keep my gun ready, though.
What is it? We've always felt like a presence and an urging. Does it feel like it's actually coming from behind us?
At this second in time, you just felt wind.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll just keep on hiding in my little hide spot.
Alright, after another, just like a couple seconds even, the young boy with the medium length kind of blonde hair starts to chuckle a little bit. He's still just playing with his lighter and just says, "Sounds like Talon's coming close." And another second or two later, you'll start to hear not galloping, but running, like kind of on all fours, and like dirt being tossed up.
What direction?
From behind you.
Oh no! So in between, or we are in between where it's coming from and those kids.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. And they're staring right at. Is there any way that we could like move from this direction away without being seen?
Probably not. You found a nice spot to hide in a mix of like some bushes and trees. If you try to move slowly and stealthily, maybe, but this noise is coming up quick. So you've got the decision of move fast to get out of the way and get away from it, whatever it might be, if it's a concern. Or try to sneakily stealth away and continue to have the other two not see you.
I'll turn and look at Brother with like eyebrows up.
I honestly would probably just stay where I am because I'm a big dude and I don't really do stealth too well. So I feel like my position would be compromised if I do move out of the way, you know what I mean?
Do you convey that back towards me in some kind of non-verbal?
Yeah, sign language. I'm a big guy, cannot sneak away. Stay here.
Chad will just nod and just try and hunker down.
Yeah, so I want to perceive where that tossed up dirt noise is coming from and maybe like kind of shimmy around where I'm hiding to where it would not be visible to the kids or the figure coming. If it's possible from where I am.
Like, you're in the woods, but it's not like a bog or anything where there's like a lot of low laying stuff. There's places to duck behind.
Yeah, I mean, if I'd like just take a knee and hide behind some shrubbery or something, and then, you know, keep my gun ready.
Alright, if you give me... Let me look at your sheet real quick.
Academics?
No, academics!
He read it in a book. Like, he could do it.
I'll let you run survival index to find a good spot that seems to be out of the line of where this sound seems to be coming.
3. 3.
And yep, and for Chad, give me the same thing, Dex and survival, and make sure you find a good spot to like kind of get out of this way.
Oh, so I'm not in a good spot now.
I think you were close. Just give me that roll, and I'll forgive a bunch.
I was like, but survival's not my shit. So all right, here we
You
go.
got 2, don't you?
Yeah, I should be.
Ooh, okay, you're good.
Oh, nope. Those. Wait, how did I get 14s? And
You got 2 10s, and they exploded.
Okay, yeah. All right. So both of you catch sight. It's much darker in the woods right now. So you catch sight of a good little spot near where you are already, but will be further away from the path that sounds like this thing is coming towards. So you like very quietly, knee down, already like crouch to the ground. Watch where you're moving. Watch how you're not like cracking sticks or moving too many leaves or anything like that. And just find a good spot to hide near, so you don't have to travel far, but are more covered and a little further away. And as you get into your new hidden zones, you hear the sound coming closer and closer. It sounds like large feet, maybe even human. There's a large pad to it from the back, but some like claws that sound like more of a predator when they're like got their claws out and they're digging up as they run. And there's a bit of a loose soil here in the woods, coming forward. And give me perception alertness 8 to see how much you see of it.
1 success.
No.
Alright, maybe brother, because he's so tall, he's so large, he's just more concerned about hiding than, like, taking a good look at this thing. He doesn't really get a good look at it. Chad, you got 1?
Correct.
Alright, as the thing trundles by, you get a vague sense of slightly humanoid, but it's kind of on all fours, but the arms are longer, so that's where it looks almost like when if a human tried to run on all fours. The front limbs are longer, more of a humanoid body shape, but there's like dark gray skin and some very dark, almost horsehair looking hair coming off of the head of the thing. But that's as much as you pick up from it. And it continues trundling through. You would both hear it sort of do a skid and stop near the trees and start like huffing a little bit in front of the 2 teens. And you'd hear them giggle a little bit longer.
I'll just keep my eyes open and just see what, or try and keep my ears open and see what I hear them talk and say.
Likewise.
Give me perception stealth if you want to try to look at it without losing your spot.
Ooh.
If you you don't have to.
Can I just
What's,
listen?
You can listen if you want to see it. I need perception stealth.
Yeah, no. I'll just
Okay.
listen. I'll rely on Chad for this one.
Chad, do you want to actually see?
What's the yes, I want to see. I was like, why would I ask the
Regular
difficulty?
difficulty. Just saying, like, you don't have to. I'm not demanding it.
1 success.
You scared
One
the shit
success.
out of me.
1 success.
You poor thing. I'm gonna make you, like, delete your Roll20 account and make a new one or something.
I already thought about closing it and reopening it, but I didn't. I held it there.
Alright, so brother's just listening. Chad is trying to get at least a quiet peek. From behind, it still just looks like a very tall, muscular kind of human being. dark gray skin. Again, like from the back, you just see this like long mane of hair. It has that like thick quality of like horse mane hair, and it's like black. That's really all you can see of this one. The two teenagers in front of him as he starts to stand up, and you can see his height by his standing. And he's even like crouching a little bit, but he's already near to brother's height. So he's very tall, even crouching slightly. And you hear him sort of in a gruff tone, I sense something nearby. And you hear the two teens just kind of giggle a little bit. Yeah, I think there's a couple people nearby, and they nod towards the trees and the bushes. Don't know where they went, though. They might have run off already. And the young boy who had the lighter is still, like, flicking that back and forth.
When they say, like, trees and bushes and they nod, do they nod where we are or where we were?
Where you were. Just
Okay.
vaguely where he already ran through.
Gotcha. All right, we'll keep listening.
So the large, mannish thing, the dark gray skin, just huffs and says, I have something to take care of anyway. And you see him walk towards the set of trees, and there's like a slight brightness, almost glittering for a moment, and then he disappears. The two teens stay at one of the trees, still giggling and looking in your direction.
Chad kind of just like, because he was like crouched down behind like trees and shit like that, right? Or how was he? What was my hiding spot?
Yours sounded much more like behind a couple trees and like crouched down behind. Brother was more in like a bit of bush nearby.
Chad kind of just like goes from looking and just like leans his head up against the tree and kind of like shakes his head. This is too much for him. But he'll still just keep on listening and see if the kids move or what they do next.
I pull out my flaming longsword and charge.
Give me 1 second.
My life for ire. And charge.
You see both the young man and the young woman start walking in your direction at a slow, almost stalking pace with smiles on both their faces.
I'll look at Chad, and whenever he decides to make eye contact with me, I'll like put a hand out to like tell him to stay, and I'll lean my rifle against the tree, and then like come out with hands up.
No, that doesn't work. I'm a martyr. You can't martyr yourself for me.
I mean, I'm a defender, so I'm defending you.
God damn
I know you guys are the cutest couple.
We're
I
having a
sacrifice myself for
debate.
you!
We're like, I want to die. No, I'll die.
No,
The blind leading the blind. Holy hell!
No, it's basically like, I want to die. I'm like, I have to protect you from not dying.
He'll see
Seriously,
what
you
he's
guys are the
doing.
best couple in this situation.
He'll see what he's doing. Just like, no. He doesn't say it out loud, but he takes the gun, he puts it in the back of his waistband, and also comes out with his hands raised and stands with him.
I'll
No,
give
bro.
a pretty deep sigh and like shake my head.
No, Rose, you take the door.
He'll kind of look up at him and he'll say it in game. I can't let you do this by yourself, man. And hope
Both-
that it's quiet enough that they can't hear.
Yeah, and I'll respond like, well, looks like we're in this together.
So you've basically presented yourself to the teenagers.
Yeah, hands up, saying that we don't have weapons
I
or
think
anything. I don't actually know if Char can he see? Because it's dark out. I have discern up, so I can see in the dark.
Wait, I can't hear you, Bev. Wait, did I
Oh.
do my thing?
Oh, I was saying, can
No,
Chad
sorry.
see in the dark? Because
I did the
It
thing I
is-
do all the time where like I'm brushing my hair and I hit my thing.
that's okay. I was wondering if Chad could see in the dark, because I have discern up, so I can kind of see.
Yeah, how dark is... Well, I've been able to see these kids, and he has a Zippo on what they've been doing, so...
Yeah, it's getting darker and darker, but like the kid is still at least, but you can at least see from like him flicking his lighter like their direction.
I'll shine a light on him. I'll like slowly move my hand towards like my pocket and like pull out a flashlight and just like shine it to him.
But you otherwise are like I'm
Yeah. Yeah, not like any threatening gestures.
So, the young boy with the lighter and the girl as well kind of like stop, but the young boy kind of laughs a little bit like, seems like they're giving up.
Well, we are in your domain. What do you want of us?
Nothing. I just like to know what you're up to.
We're investigating the woods. It seems the animals have been dying here. Was wondering if you two are responsible for that.
The young boy laughs especially hard, looks at the girl, and she sort of like more chitters back at him. Killing animals? What do we look like?
Well, you look like two unhumane individuals. You're not human. So what are you?
The young boy gives a much wider grin and just... Well, then, what do we look like?
The woman there looks like some type of forest spirit. You, on the other hand, I have no clue. So why don't you enlighten us?
The young girl gives a really, like, soft chitter, but doesn't say much more. The young boy, though, starts laughing a little more. You've got some kind of sight on you. And he drops the sort of mask he had, and you see, well, his size doesn't change. Instead, and he's still wearing, like, a hoodie and jeans, though barefoot. But his hair starts moving and flickering like a flame. His skin looks more like a nearly, like a well-charred log. Like a log that's been set on fire for a while, so that it's mostly, like, black and cracked with, like, fire and embers in the cracks. Stuff like that, like, dark orange red in between, but otherwise the same like physical body. So underneath the hoodie where you'd previously seen some of that light is very like emanating through the fabric. The girl also sort of drops whatever disguise she had, and she looks similar with that like kind of like cracked skin, except it's more like bark, and her hair turns almost like the kind of dread style hair that is like branches and leaves.
Chad will kind of look in between them and brother. What are they?
I'll wait for an answer, like from the vocal one.
You could be loud enough for them to hear.
Well, I could take an educated guess, but why don't we cut the games out, kid?
You've got a lot of names for us, but it's way more fun when you figure it out.
Well, I ain't here to play games with you, so if you'll have us take our leave, we'll just do that instead of entertain a bunch of adolescents. And I'll actually just like turn my back and like start walking away.
He'll kind of like, he's not sure. He takes small steps with him and doesn't exactly want to turn his back on them, but he makes sure to stand in between them and brother.
Give me perception alertness, both of you, at 7.
Juan. Yeah. Oh my God, Char! Stop it! Anyways, I wanted to add that, like, even though I'm walking away, I'm carefully listening. Like, if they're rushing towards us, I'll immediately pull out my gun and shoot.
That's fine. You hear another click that sounds like the same thing the young guy has been doing with his Zippo that he's been, like, playing with. And this large arcing burst of fire rounds in front of you. It's very obviously not even trying to, like, touch either of you, but it is more of like a show off of ability. So it just kind of like arcs in front of you like a large whip and disappears. And whether you turn around or not, the young teenage boy says, I suggest avoiding the woods because Talon's much more of an asshole than I am.
Well, being an asshole and being a kid are two different things. And I'll turn around and say, now I'll ask again, are you responsible for the animals here? The ones that we've been finding?
He slowly puts the Zippo back into, like, the front of his hoodie pocket. I think you still have your discern up, so you can still see he has that, like, broken, charred skin with, like, the fire and embers, like, slightly peeking through. It says, not the death of them, though.
Then I assume this Talon would be the one.
He did at least half the work or more.
And do you know who's responsible for the other half?
He just giggles a little bit.
What can I do to make you talk? Do you like playing games?
You're looking at them now?
Yeah, I turned my back when the flame whip kind of prevented me from walking.
The young girl steps forward, smiling when you mention something about games.
I'll focus my attention on her, like, so, what kind of games do you like to play?
She gently cracks her neck, and as you're seeing her now, she's still that sort of very dryad kind of wood nymph, you know, made out of bark, hair in her, or leaves in her hair kind of thing, and gives a large smile and in a very soft voice says, "What kind of games do you like?"
As they're talking, can I use witness?
Yes.
I think it allows me to recognize the nature of supernatural creatures in my presence. Is that like it allows me to see what they are, or just that they are supernatural?
They've kind of already given up what they are. At this point, it would probably have to be like an occult thing to tell much more about what they are.
Okay.
But real quick, I want to check back with Lily and Sean, who are still left at the bar. Want to see how they're feeling for the rest of the night.
Well, I think the plan is that nothing particularly exciting happens at the bar. Is start chatting up the mayor's daughter on Facebook, and wait for the morning if these two don't contact someone, unless the priest had anything different.
Also, look up what was going to happen, what happened a year ago from now involving anyone. But
Yes.
the whole, whatever it was a year ago that happened in the town that she had a rough time, if there's no actual name, just like events that happened 1 year ago around whatever time we're at. Obviously, that's going to be up to him. I'll probably wait to see if the wife of what's his name calls back, if she needs to talk to anyone. Other than that, I'm gonna say to Sean in the morning we should probably go and maybe like after school starts, go talk to the parents of the other missing child. I think it's too late to do that tonight. So
Tomorrow's a Sunday.
Were the two gonna do some of that like online stuff this evening, though?
Yes, my plan is to do as much of the online stuff this evening. So whatever I can research online, and while I'm online, peruse the mayor daughter's Facebook page. And by peruse, I mean the old technical term, the definition of the word. Scour her Facebook for anything and research what happened a year ago. Or see if Facebook even says what happened a year ago. Who knows?
Alright, is Father Lily along for that ride?
I'm kind of blind, so the internet doesn't.
You can stay with him and ask him what he sees.
If you want to, for sake of bundling us together, but I wouldn't. I'd go back to the church and probably pray and relax, maybe read some scripture. I don't see why I need to hold his hand for Facebooking.
Alright,
Unless it's going to be like supernatural demonic Facebooking, then maybe that could be cool. But I expect it to be chill.
I'm asking you, are you gonna sit and listen to what he says he finds? That's the question.
I really don't see Father doing that. He'd meet up with him in the morning and ask, but I don't think he's going to sit there while he does it, especially this late. Father wakes up very, very early in the morning, so 9, 10 o'clock rolls around, he's ready for bed, unless he's, in the middle of something.
Alright, so Sean, you're going back to your apartment and you're gonna do all that?
Hopefully drop me off at the church.
I'm just going to leave you in the car. You'll be fine.
It's like a dog.
Just
You
put
just
on
leave him in the car. It's fine.
Just put on a tape recorder.
I'll put on Pink Floyd, your favorite band, crack the windows, you'll be fine.
That sounds more like torturing a priest. How to torture a priest. 101.
Put on comfortably numb for like 10 hours.
Just on repeat.
Alright, so, Father Lily heads back to his place. You were actually staying at Saint Something's. Not a big deal, but
The local Catholic church. I forget the name of it. They have a church. They have an actual. They have living quarters for the priest, but the actual priest that lives there has his own house. This is real, by the way. has his own house nearby, so they're vacant to stay there, and there's a school as well.
Church of the Holy Cross.
Church of the Holy Cross. And I'm also gonna, if it's okay with you, say that I have a few books from the diocese with me, and I'd probably look up the like demonic kind of what do they call it? There's books that have like demons and what they are and the descriptions and all that, and the Catholic iconography. Look through those and see what we'd use holly and steel for, just to get closer to iron. Was holly an iron? Just as an idea for the things that we found. I saw in Chad's apartment.
Holly and iron are Fey resistance items.
No, I know, but I would look more into it. That's just, I'm telling you what he'd be doing overnight.
Alright, back at Sean's apartment, hotel, with your computer and everything open, checking into the Facebook, the fake Facebook thing you created to try and get a little closer into Suzanne and find out some things are there. She does accept your Facebook friendship with the fake profile. Doesn't actually really say anything back, just says like, hey, like that's it. Hey, leaves it there. Once you get into the Facebook and you can see all of the private posts, because she had a private profile, you can go back. I'm not even gonna make you roll for it because it would be on there. Going back, the thing you'll notice that is the most strange is about a year ago, she had a near-death experience due to an accident when she had been out on a motorcycle with a then boyfriend. She'd been hospitalized. She had actually been essentially in a coma at a point. Doctors thought she had actually hit brain death. It was a short coma, then brain death. And then within a couple hours came back. The doctor said it was a completely miraculous return. Did not seem medically or scientifically, as far as I understood, something that had been a known factor to the level that she had been gone at time, that sort of thing. So her Facebook, for quite a while after, at least a month, was just filled with lots of, posts of like, this is amazing, we're so happy you're back, can't believe it, so on and so forth. But as you continue through her posts over the next few months, you'll notice changes from even her earlier posts that seemed very, very social, very, chipper and excited. Things she would post about, school life, her own hobbies, posting regularly to friends' pages, to becoming a lot more introverted, just a lot less posting from herself directly, signs of a young teenager changing. And absolutely, the one thing you would notice is that she's been out of school for a while.
What grade which is she in at this point?
The accident had happened when she was in junior year.
So. Sorry, just taking notes. Did she have, of her most recent posts, is there any relatively consistent friends like, hey, fun time last night, let's do it again tomorrow? Or just anything particularly consistent with any current friends, maybe any clues as to where she'll be the next few days or anything just kind of going on at the moment in her life?
You would definitely notice the change from, like, say, before the accident and even shortly after of, like, hey, fun hanging out last night, or, like, pictures of hanging out at a pizza place nearby, to within the last 2 or 3 months. Much more along the lines of, like, hey, we totally need to hang out again, like, miss you, things like that. So attitude and social aspects have definitely changed for her.
Um, and well, fuck, that kind of pretty much gave me everything that I really wanted to look for in the incident. So, anything in current event wise that might just be interesting or of note other than, I mean, like, has she still been posting, or is it just kind of like, and, slowly degraded, and even like a month ago just stopped posting altogether? Or
She's still been posting, but like so much more less often. And they seem even more bland, just kind of like, hey, blank thing. Just attitude, interest, style, something. I'd say, like, just with your perception level, I'm not even gonna make you roll for anything. You notice there's been a change, and her friends have noticed it too. But there's been at least a slight upkeep onto, like, posting occasionally, maybe a picture of food she had at a restaurant, that kind of thing. But might even seem slightly forced.
So a picture of her at a restaurant. Was she?
No, like
What was-
Instagram, like picture of the food.
What was the food?
Um,
This is relevant.
Probably like greasy, like pizza shop stuff. There's not much in Dover.
Was wondering if it
For a
was, like-
fact, been there. Not
I was
much.
wondering if it was like steak tartare or something.
No, you
And
got
she
a
could
couple. You
replace
got a
it with
couple
steak first.
okay fish places, and then like pizza shops.
Okay. And the boyfriend that she was riding on the motorcycle with, what happened to him?
No mention since like that photo.
Okay, well, time to do some actual research then. I want to find out his name. Did he live? Anything involved with that?
Alright, yeah, no, the photo actually was tagged. It was a long time ago, but it was Jake Anderson.
And is he alive still?
Yeah, if you go into Facebook, you'll find his page. Also locked though.
For the moment, I'm not gonna poke that. And then in response to her friend request acceptance, where she's just like, "Hi," just be like, just post something like,
Miss you,
know.
bitch!
something vapid sounding. We need to meet up, or it would be good to meet up, get reacquainted with everyone or something.
Okay. Sounds good. Back to the woods real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chad and brother. Big Monster Boy ran ahead. Fireboy and Wood Girl are walking toward your direction.
Well, Birdie said hi.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
asked them if they wanted to play games, and then I
Yes.
said I wanted to use.
Girl was interested in games.
I guess it does more than that. It says like visions might reveal attacks or feedings that they've done to show like their true nature and blah 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 and stuff like that. For witness, the ability of martyrdom.
Yep. I'm trying to interpret that by another split. Alright, as the girl walks closer to the two of you, and specifically Chad has his witness up to try and interpret and understand a supernatural thing that is in front of him.
I should roll for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
6 is fine.
Yeah, it's perception and mercy versus 6. Bam! Look at that. I know everything about it.
I was staring at it. I gave it my own ST voodoo. No ones.
What? There's a 1. But I just have enough successes that
I was like, no ones. 5, good. So, you have never encountered this before, but your hunter senses alarm you about this girl, and even the boy a little bit, like behind her, and just what's going on is informing you that what you're seeing is something without a name you can give it. It is something you understand as ephemeral to nature and elements, and reminds you of when you were younger and you may have heard about like fairy tales and things about like, you know, kind of like crazy different types of creatures that might live in the woods, might affect things of nature. And this girl walks closer and closer to you, and you like remember something about like Greek myth you once heard about these creatures that were a part of trees, the way her body looks. And her smile is enticing. And you even like hear just from her breath, it almost sounds like music.
All right.
Anyway, I think we left off to like, what kind of game do I like to play?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, how about 2 truths and a lie? You ever heard of that one?
The girl stops suddenly, huge smile on her face, clear as pearls on her teeth, even though her skin is like dark and crackled. It's one of my favorites. You start.
All right. And I'll stop to like think for a minute and say, I can see the supernatural through my eyes. I have a house in Dover here, and that's why I'm here to inspect the animals. I have a gun in my back pocket.
The girl looks you up and down and thinks for a little while. Something about all of those sounds a little true.
I don't have a house here, actually. I'm just here on vacation.
Her shoulders slump suddenly. You didn't let me guess!
Oh, I thought you said all 3.
No.
Oh.
I was still gonna pick.
I'll give a freebie, I guess. I thought she picked for some out of character. I thought she picked. Anyways,
She meant like, I thought all 3 sound similar, but she was good thinking to pick. But yeah, keep going.
Oh, sorry.
You're good?
My companion here is a student of mine back in California. I have 3 other companions in town. Or 2 other companions in town. And my daughter lives nearby.
Give me 1 second. I had to actually roll for something.
No, I'm kidding. I won't do it again.
Uh, what was your first one?
I said Chad is a student of mine in California, and then the second one was I have 2 other people investigating, and the third one was I have a daughter in town.
So the young girl with the bark skin and leaf hair just sort of giggles. First one's the lie.
I'll smile and say, very good. And then I'll proceed to say, I know what you and your brother are. I know what's going on with the animals. And I have a suspicion as to what is going on at the church.
One second. Talk amongst yourself for actually 2 seconds because I gotta roll a couple bits.
Blah, 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 blah,
Blah, blah, blah, blah.
Peas and carrots,
Blah,
peas
blah,
and
blah.
carrots, peas and carrots.
Blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Did
Little did you know tonight we are role playing Sims, the game. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, Forgus Sporgan!
That's Sims talk.
That was too close.
Dang. Alright,
Suck it! I'm just kidding.
Repeat what you said again, real quick.
First one was I know what her and her brother is. The second one was I know what's going on with the animals. And the third one was I have a suspicion that I know what happened at the church.
I'm trying to decide if I should roll for like each of those, but they got such bad rolls anyway. I'll let it go. And they both take like a slight step back and just look a little more perturbed. And the young boy goes, "And?"
And what?
Well, you obviously seem like you have some response to that, so what are you gonna do?
Well, first you gotta guess the lie. Tell me them again. First one was I know what they are. Second one, I know what happened to the animals. Third one, I have a suspicion as to what happened at the church.
Oh, I was thinking because they failed, they wouldn't know at all. So their guess would be... Alright, so... And he's like still playing with his lighter anyway. You know what happened at the church.
I do know what happened at the church.
And... Why do you care?
Well, it's not part of the game now, is it? So how about you and your sister there tell me exactly 2 truths and a lie.
The girl smiles slightly and giggles a little and thinks for a moment. Looking at her brother, as you kind of well guessed. Looking at you, she begins to start telling a story about how the 2 of them even wound up in these woods and how they met Talon, who they know you heard about before, and she just continues to speak non-stop, non-sequitur, just is babbling words for a long, long time.
I'll listen. I mean, I have nowhere to go, really.
Chad kind of looks back
Without
and forth
actually
at him.
spending an hour of it, like she's just like ranging from topic to topic and just keeps talking nonstop.
Does this have a purpose? or are you just gonna babble on nonsense?
She keeps talking, and her brother just goes, "Well, I mean, like she's giving you her version of it. If you want her to stop, you can ask her."
Can I see like the facial expression on his face? Like, is he kind of annoyed?
He's highly amused.
And this is like she's just saying like her first statement, like a truth or a lie kind of thing.
It sounds like the kind of girl who could like take a story that should take like 2 or 3 sentences and makes it into like a book.
Got it. Okay. I'll just say, so what exactly, or how exactly is Talon involved in the animal killings, and what is he doing? Why is he killing nonsensical?
The fire boy in the hoodie just shrugs.
Does he look like he's just not telling me?
Yeah. And the young girl keeps talking about whatever.
I guess you don't really know how to play this game, do you? I'll direct it to her.
She continues talking about whatever she can think to talk about.
Okay. Well, I won't say his name, but I'll say, well, I think we got all we can get here. Towards Chad.
Yeah, man, I think she's stalling.
And I'll say this loudly and say, yeah, they're just some useless kids. They ain't got nothing for us.
The young boy is chucklingly, just kind of like...
Yeah, I'm trying to like get on his nerves, really. And I'll just say, well, let's just tell the Foresters back in town just to cut everything down. Might be safer that way.
Yeah. Let's do that. Chad's not good at this whole.
The young boy just continues laughing. Just go ahead and try it. See how well they react to you.
Well, accidental fires start wonders. I know you know that firsthand, don't you, boy?
Accidental fires start for sure easily, but planned ones are much better.
You would know firsthand, wouldn't you?
I have plenty of experience, yeah. Girl still hasn't stopped talking.
That's fine. I completely just ignored her. I'll just say, I bet you have, just like at that church down the road, right?
He just smiles slightly.
Well, you can tell Talon that if he decides to look for us, we'll be ready for him. We're not the average prey, so to say.
I'll let him know.
Okay, I'll just walk, whether or not the girl's talking or not.
She keeps talking, non-incessantly about whatever. It doesn't even make any sense at this point. But he just, continues giggling a little bit while you guys walk away.
Yeah, and I'll be sure to pick up my rifle that I left by the tree.
Yep, and Chad will keep on following. Is this what we do, man? We go into the woods and pester whatever that is, a imp, fairy, wood elf thingies, and then we just taunt them, and then we leave?
It's all a game, Chad. That's all it is. It's just a game.
Are we gonna kill them?
Eventually.
Why didn't we just do it now?
Well, we need to learn more about this Talon. I'd rather draw him out, take care of him first, and then the kids.
Oh no. So Spira, were the cameras, we had cameras angled to look into it. Would they have caught all of this?
Yes.
We have to go to the Ranger's computer, and those photos are going to be all over that computer, man. And it's probably, I don't know if it's closed now, but if someone opens up those computers, they're going to see whatever those guys were and us.
We'll give Sean a call, see if we can do something about it.
I don't know. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and I'll start walking towards the car. And of course, keeping my wits about me in case anything decides to run up on us.
I was gonna say, as we're walking around, he's gonna keep on looking over his shoulder to make sure they're not following him.
Yeah, no, like, I'm not gonna make you guys roll for this because I know, as my NPCs, they're gonna stay back in the woods. So you guys get back to your car and are happy to head back to your respective hotels. If, Brother's gonna go back to Chad's first to try and reach out to Sean or wherever else. I think next game we could maybe check in at the very end of this night before the next day would be good. But I would like to wrap it here. So, Chad and Lily, Father Lily, had found out some very interesting things. Sean specifically, sorry, had found out some interesting things about Suzanne through her Facebook as pretending to be someone as a friend from middle school. Chad and Brother have now discovered a couple interesting creatures, non-human things that have been hanging out in the woods, following them along, gave them some warnings, all that kind of good nonsense. Yeah, I think next Monday we'll have to finish this night, but we'll go into the next day right afterwards. That'll be a good game. But wrapping up from here, we will go with tomorrow night is going to be another New York by Night Tuesday VTM game that we are getting close to a season finale we're planning kind of thing. Check out, we're going to do some stuff after that. And then of course on Fridays we have our new Anarch game, ST'd by the lovely Revolver C. It is a great, awesome game. Revolver C, do you want to talk about your channel? I know you're taking a slight hiatus.
Yeah, so I'm a late night variety broadcaster. I start at 10:30 p.m. PST. As she said, I'm kind of taking a break because I bought a house and I'm moving. So hopefully I'll get the keys tomorrow, and then we're going to set up the internet and hopefully be streamed by next week or by the end of the month. So
nice. Totally. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Awesome guy. Chart as well. Do you have specific days? I know you're a bit off and on. You were moving yourself.
So off and on, yeah. This weekend I was doing shampooing of the carpets and all that stuff. So hopefully, next weekend I'll have a full weekend to myself. So hopefully Sunday and Monday I'll be able to do it,
Nice.
And then Tuesday nights, obviously.
Yeah, but definitely give him a follow as well. He plays some super awesome first-person shooter games. I'm bad at this stuff.
All the first-person shooter games.
Yeah.
All of them.
And Kuznark as well, our lovely Kuznark, is a streamer as well. Plays throughout the weekdays, and especially around the weekend, will do his horror night streams, which are hilarious and wonderful because he hates them and he gets spooked to hell. Even if I walk up to him nicely like, "Hey honey, how you doing?" He doesn't see it and he goes like, "Hey." It's adorable. Just check it out.
Yeah, check us out. Yeah, check out Horror Nights. We're actually doing a community poll so everyone else can pick which next horrible horror game I get to have heart attacks to. So hopefully look out for that tomorrow. And then Wednesday night and Thursday night we'll also be throwing some streams out there.
And as I said, tomorrow, Tuesday night, New York. Check it out. 9 p.m. EST, as usual. Yes?
Hey guys, also if you missed the first 2 episodes of Hunter, or 3 episodes, 2?
2.
Three?
We're on
2.
3.
If you missed the first 2 episodes of Hunter, check them out on YouTube, where we have our Anarch games, our Hunter games, and our Vampire games. So you can always, if you miss an episode, head over there on YouTube. It's in the description somewhere, and check this out so you can be up to date.
Yep. Alright, so we'll see you all later. Check down below. We've got all our details for YouTube, Discord, and everything else. Alright, love you lovelies. Thank you for all your follows, your continued watching, and hanging out in the chat and everything else. You're the best, and we would do this without you on our own, but it's so much more fun with you. Bye!